So the click has happened, everybody. We are technically, officially live. We're going to get this. Here we go. We're going to edit audience so that it is a public. So any of y'all can watch, hang out, chat, do whatever it is that you do while we do what we do. All right, there we go. Official. And let me get back to, there we go, back to the regular feed. So you guys, you can share this out if you like. It is now live. And hey, Craig, what's up? We got Craig in the room. We got Mike in the room. Impromptu evening tonight. Halloween is kind of a bust around the country. So we're gonna do a little horror chit chat tonight. We got three people here who are horror fans, movie fans, all comic book people too. So I'm sure this will kind of drift around the topics as we start our first of 12 hours with you tonight.
I knew I charged my phone for a reason.
We need a couple Red Bulls here.
Yeah.
Hey, and also, it's not just 12; it's 13 because we roll back.
Oh
Yep.
my God! Look at that!
Fall back tonight.
Unbelievable! Unbelievable!
13 hours for Halloween.
There it is. There it is.
The number. Woo!
So we're gonna start with you, Jim, because Dave and I had this conversation yesterday.
Okay.
Friday the 13th movies.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
What's worse, Part 5 or Part 9? Jason Goes to Hell.
Oh, man. That's a tough question.
Right? Dave had an answer almost immediately, which kind of surprised me. But I couldn't argue with him necessarily, but I was just curious because I had just reason it came up because we got that DVD, the Blu-ray thing came out, and I had been binging them basically one a night over the past week or so. And a few nights ago, I got to where I was going to have to watch Jason Goes to Hell, and it's right here, like waiting for me to go. Right, and I went and I grabbed it and I was like, okay, so this is tonight's. Fuck, do I really want to watch this movie? And so that's where the question came. I was like, so which is worse? Because neither of them really have Jason in it. And, they both were kind of pseudo reboots. But which is worse?
Well, see, that's tough because when you view those movies as a horror fan, Part 9, it connects officially the Evil Dead universe with the Friday the 13th universe as well as the Nightmare on Elm Street universe.
Right.
So you get those three giant franchises all into one. You got the Necronomicon, you got Freddy's Krueger Claw coming in at the end. Part 5,
but there's a lot
at the very beginning.
Yeah, there's a lot of junk you got to get through
to
make those things worthwhile.
You have Kane literally talking shit about Jason and then get killed by Jason or the
True. The Jason
esque thing.
The heart of Jason.
Jason Goes to Hell is pretty bad. Part 5. But also Part 5. You got two Return of the Living Dead stars in Part 5.
Yep.
You got one of them who goes, "Damn, I ate too much enchiladas," and then he gets fucking stabbed. And then
I don't know that helps your argument for 5.
I'm gonna have to go with Part 9. Part 9 is probably worse than Part 5.
Interesting.
Yes.
I don't disagree. Because here, and my basic rationale is when I was watching them and I got to Part 5, I was like, "Yep, put it in, let's go." And then when I got to Part 9, I was like, I'm done. I don't want to watch these anymore. So I haven't seen it in a long time, so I'll end up doing it. And I really want to go back into these things and watch because there's all kinds of new commentary tracks and stuff on this Blu-ray. So I really want to do a deep dive on these things. I've been watching like all the like cut scenes and stuff, which was cool. Especially since a lot of this stuff has never been seen before, like since the 80s, like when it was cut out and thrown on the floor. So there's been some cool, fun, like extra gore stuff. A lot of it's garbage, but the gore stuff is fun to see. I love the one in Part 2 where he like puts the thing through her head, but then it turns and it's like sticking out her nose through the side. I was like, oh my God, that's an amazing shot. That looked so good. So some of it's cool and some of it, as always, is but whatever.
Also,
like, was it on the remake I was watching? My favorite one out of all of them, I'm sorry, and I'm gonna get hell for this, is 7. I love 7.
No, I like 7.
It's like,
mine's 8. So
the guitar scene. But on one of the special features on 7 is the 2 girls that was smoking the dope that was fighting over the guy, the one that got killed in the barn, and the other one like had sex with the guy and everything and all, blah blah blah. They actually reunite now. They had a special feature where they reunite and they go out and they get makeovers together.
Oh God!
Like, so she like makes up for it. Like they both go out to have makeovers, and it's awesome. So they have like 80s makeovers.
Yeah. So Craig has this little tidbit, and yes, we all love Erin Gray. Of course, Erin Gray was in it. She is the redeeming factor of the entire movie, even though she wasn't really given much to do. No, I like 7 a lot. I just like that it was so weird. Like it was just like everything had been so static, essentially, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, now he's facing like a psychic thing. Like that's just so out of left field, which is why I liked Jason in Space too, because it's just like, what the fuck is this? This is so weird that it's cool. I'm still pretty partial to part 2 because that was the first one I ever saw. And so it's just kind of, that's where I started, and that's kind of that's my Jason stuff. I saw the first one, and then I saw the second one, and then I saw the first one. I saw them in reverse order, like videotape days. But yeah, watching the first 2 like back to back, they hold up pretty good for essentially 40-year-old slasher movies. You got Kevin Bacon in the first one, of course, which is nuts. You've got in part 4, you've got George McFly is in part 4. I can't think of the dude's name now.
Chris McGlover.
Yeah, Chris McGlover.
Corey Feldman.
Yep.
Corey Feldman and the chick from Weird Science. Tilly. Is it Tilly in Weird Science? I think her name's Tilly or something like that. She's the dark-haired chick. She's in that movie too. So there's like a really amazing like swirl of 80s actors in that movie.
As many times I've seen that movie, I've never noticed that.
I hadn't either until I saw it this time. I was sitting there watching it, and I was like really watching it because I'm like, I bought these fucking DVDs. I'm paying attention, like what's going on. And as soon as I saw her, I was like, that's her from that thing. And I was like on IMDb, I'm like, yep, that's her. That's so.
I'll be damned.
Yeah. Weirdness. I mean, all of these old horror movies, well, not all of them, but a lot of them, Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street had Johnny Depp. I mean, there's a lot of like, old school actors that started in this weird stuff.
Lawrence Fishburne's on part 3.
Yeah.
Patricia Arquette.
Patricia Arquette. Yeah.
What was the name? The one that I liked a lot that played, they had like what was the movie Bad Dreams after that? The chick that played the Mohawk and had the knives.
Jennifer Rubin.
Came out Bad Dreams. Came out Wes Craven did Bad Dreams.
Yeah, Jennifer Rubin.
Yeah, Jennifer Rubin. I love her.
So Josh is talking about death scenes of Friday the 13th. He's talking about the sleeping bag mashup. Now in the Blu-rays, that scene is super extended. Like in the movie, he's just like whomp and done. In the extended scene, he's like 2, 3, 4, 5, change the angle again. This is like, holy God, what is happening? And like there's more and more blood in the sleeping bag. So it was even more violent than like when they remade it in Jason in Space. Like knocked a couple of times, but then he like was slamming them together. It's crazy. But in the deleted scenes, there's like a lot more gore. So that sleeping bag scene is way more rough, but it was cool to see. Yeah. 3, Brian says 3 is his favorite. Here's the thing for 3. Okay. In all of these movies,
it's coming right at you.
There's basically continuity, like through all of these. Basically, through 1 through 8, there's continuity. There's a thread. Except for 3. Here's the thing with 3. 3 has almost no continuity because all of a sudden, here's 3 telling you a story that Jason just roamed off into the woods at some point and found this chick at some point, and now she's come back to the house. And Jason has come back for some reason and just happens to be at like, what the fuck is this? This doesn't make any sense. Like number 3 doesn't make any sense in continuity context.
No.
which
like
I found
off
was really
King
weird
Shaven
because
and-
I remember the continuity being ultimately pretty strict. But number 3 just makes no sense. Number 3 was just kind of like, yeah, let's just make another one and make it 3D, and you know, and he got the mask. Now, it's not a bad movie, like from a concept of the movie itself, but from the from the writer standpoint, I'm like, dude, this makes no sense. What is going on?
Yeah.
Because wasn't 2 like the 2? Me and Chris is some of the 7 because I didn't get to see them. Like I'm going backwards with them because I don't know why I'm weird.
Yep.
But I haven't seen 2 yet. Isn't or 3? Isn't that the one at the beginning where like he's like laying on the ground and he's got like the machete and it's like weirdly elongated old creepy horror movie shots they used to do. And he like picks up the machete and he's like crawling off.
I don't remember him crawling off.
I
No.
mean, just kind of like not crawling off, but he's on his side and he's like got the machete and he's like going. It's weird. It always freaked me out. I can't remember which one that is.
3 starts with like an obnoxiously long scene of like this couple at a convenience store in the woods. And it's like 30 minutes of these two like wandering in and out of this stupid market, and then eventually they die. Spoiler alert. But it's like way too long, and you get a little bit of like TV scenes because they're talking about what happened in part 2.
Yeah.
And then suddenly Jason is like wandering off into the woods, and he's found this market, and now he's going to go see this chick that he saw whenever he saw her.
Damn.
It makes no sense. Yeah. It was a very weird story.
Was 3 the one with the chick eating the banana? Was that 3?
No, that's 4.
That's 4. Okay.
Hey, honey, you got a sister? Yeah, that's 4. Can't say what she says after that, but or shows.
She has a sign that says "fuck you,"
Yeah.
or like it says "please help," and then on the other side it says "fuck you." If they don't pick her.
Goes. Kristen goes like, "Hey, honey, you got a sister?" And she's like, "Yeah."
Then she dies.
Spoiler alert. Again, spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
We will be talking spoilers for these 40-year-old movies, just in case.
Let's see how many people have survived Friday the 13th.
See, now this is an interesting. This is where I was as I got through part 8, because I knew that was it and it rebooted, and I thought to myself, like, if you're going to make another Jason movie, why aren't we getting the survivors together and doing something with all of the survivors? Like literally go get the actors and like bring them all back and do like a Jason Friday the 13th survivor film, and doing it that way. Because like so in part 1 survived, but then she was offed in part 2. So she's null. In part 2, the chick survives, the blonde chick. There are a few others that went into town, but they were not really characters in the movie. Anybody that went into town basically survived. But but she survived, and then as you go into part 3, there's no mention of her, so she's out there. In part 3,
we don't know.
The chick survives, doesn't she?
Well, they had that weird ending. Remember, like
right where the mom jumps out and kind of grabs her back. But it's kind of like a dream sequence. So we don't really. Again, that movie made no sense.
That
part 4.
Theoretically, she could still be alive.
Yeah.
Part 4 is Tommy Jarvis.
Tommy's still alive.
Yeah, Tommy is still alive through all the movies, all the way through 8.
Yeah, because it's what 6 was the last. His last appearance was 6.
Yeah,
no, 7. He's in 7.
What was it? The
he did have a small part in 7, didn't he?
Yeah, Tommy's in 7. Tommy is in 7. He is the guy in 7.
What is he in 7? He's not the guy in 7. He's the guy in 6.
No, well, he's in 6 too, but he's in 7.
Is he in 7?
100%. I just watched the movie. 100%. He is the guy in 7.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
He sees Jason.
There's so many movies.
I know that, right? No, I guarantee you, he's in 7. So he is 4, 5, 6, 7. Tommy Jarvis, and he survives in 7.
Yeah.
So technically, Tommy is out there. Tina is also out there.
Yes.
Tina with the mind powers is still out there.
I want Tina back.
So yeah, I mean, there would be a really easy way to write this movie, I'm sure.
The Friday the 13th, Friday 13th versus Nightmare on Elm Street for Freddy versus Jason versus Ash featured those characters apparently.
Jack.
Oh, did it really?
Yeah, it did. But I haven't read the story since it came out, so I don't remember what happened to those characters. But
well, now I want to know.
Like some of the Dream Warriors show up, and then And then the guys from Friday show up to team up to take
Amy
him
show
down.
up too for the second one. Amy Steele, the blonde. Didn't she show up too for like a little bit? And
I want to say
the survivor from 2 does not show up again.
no, I meant in the comic.
Oh, in the comic, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's what I was asking Jim. I couldn't remember. I think she showed up for like a split second, and I think she got axed in the comic. God, I can't remember.
No. Yeah, she did get. I think so. I don't remember.
It's been so long. I have them, but it's been so long since I've read them.
It's not. If it's not in the movies, it's not canon. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Number 7's a new beginning, right?
New Blood.
New Blood.
New Beginning is part 6.
Part 6 is Jason Lives.
Yeah. Part 6 is Jason Lives.
Oh, no, you know what? You're right, Jim. No, you're right. Tommy is not in part 7.
Yeah,
he's
you're
in the
right.
beginning of part 5, A New Beginning.
He's in 5 and 6.
Yeah, you're right.
Corey Feldman was filming Goonies, and it was supposed to be Corey Feldman. That was part 5 was supposed to be his movie.
Yep.
And then he was like, we're gonna film the Goonies, guys, and then they just did the time jump. So
yeah, Tommy's in 6. He's the one that puts Jason back in the lake.
Which I find that interesting, that scene where he has the chain ready to go, like in a like noose type thing. Like, come on, man! Like, there's no way in real life that would ever work.
Yeah.
Chain to a rock, like I'm waiting for him to come out of this where all the bubbles are at, and then he just comes out from the other side and just like, how's that? Okay, sure. And then cuts his face with the boat motor.
Yeah, what's the name? Cuts his face with the boat motor.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's the other thing that kind of pissed me off about 9, or Jason Goes to Hell. That's what I was telling Tom the other night. I was watching the special features on it. Spoiler alert, a little bit, but the hunter was actually supposed to be Tommy. Like, they wrote him in. Tommy Jarvis is, the hunter.
That would have been nice.
And that'd have been nice. And I'm like, oh man, and it's gonna have Tom Matthews come back and all. And then when New Line bought it, they're like, no, we're gonna reboot it and do this.
Interesting.
Yeah, that could have been so much better.
I was like, oh man.
Yeah, it's a shame because they really did have a lot of relatively strong continuity all the way through it. Now they did blow it up in some small bits. It was part 5 where supposedly they renamed Crystal Lake to I can't remember what it was. Something about Forest Glen or some shit like that.
What was it, Christy?
Grove.
What was the rename of Crystal Lake in part 5? Forest Grove or something like that?
Yeah, Forest Grove. Yeah.
Yeah, Forest Grove.
So supposedly they renamed it in part 5. And then when you got to part 6, everybody was back to calling it Crystal Lake. and 7. They were just like, yeah, Crystal Lake. Forget it. So, I mean, that can kind of be written out as, people just understand it to be that way. But there were like signs saying Crystal Lake is this way. And,
Well, between 4 and 5, a decade goes by.
Yeah.
And maybe because it's been so long since the actual Jason kills, because there was the medical guy in part 5 is the one that's imitating Jason. So
right.
It's not technically Jason, so they figured, well, we just go back to Crystal Lake. That had nothing to really. Part 5 had nothing to do with Crystal Lake at all.
No.
It's probably not even anywhere near it, as far as I know.
Right.
Yeah. It was a multiverse version.
Well, and just based on the fact that the lake changed in every movie, like this is a big fucking lake, guys.
Yeah. I love in part 8, the lake somehow connects to the Atlantic Ocean.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, 8. Like it.
Wait a minute. There's the boat. There's the boat that Jason was on that killed those guys at the beginning of the movie. And now he's on a cruise ship that's going to New York City. Wait a minute.
The one thing I love about 8 is, and this is what gets me every time. I know this is the big complaint of it, but I still love it. It just kills me. It's on a boat. It's not in Manhattan. It's on a boat.
Jason takes Manhattan, and then like an hour and a half of the movie is on a boat.
Yeah. And my favorite part on it's like when he kicks the radio in the middle of Times Square, and the guy's like, they pull a knife. He just comes back, pulls the mask off, and goes like, oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah, which is pretty funny because a lot of people in New York at the time kind of looked like Jason. So you would think
that was the thing that was like weird for me. Like they're all these characters are just running around, and there's like nobody. Like you're in New York. There is nobody in New York. Like what is going on? Until you actually get to Times Square, there's nobody in New York. So that was very strange for me. But
also, like you can walk around Times Square in New York as Jason with a hockey,
and nobody cares.
It's a restaurant scene. They like walk in, everybody's just still eating. They're like, we don't give a shit.
And like, oh, again.
Oh, this guy again.
That scene where the one guy, he's boxing him, he's punching him on top of the roof, and he's just like, your best shot, and then he just pow, and it falls and it hits the dumpster, and the dumpster closes.
The killer clowns moment.
That's probably one of my favorite kills. That probably the best kill in the whole series. That's one I like the most is from part 8.
The guitar.
The guitar's pretty good.
Guitar scene. Bam.
Yeah, he's rocking out the nerdy guy at the camera. Yeah.
And just bam.
Like that's MTV all over it. Like that's MTV inspired.
Oh yeah.
The MTV
inspired.
Jason killed it.
Yeah. So
well,
what is your guys' favorite kills? And Tom, what's your favorite kill? So far.
Well, I actually like. There's a few that I like. I like the Jason in space, where he puts the chick's face in the freezing stuff, and then it's just like mashed. That was cool. And I do like and I especially like it now even more is the sleeping bag against the tree. Like I love the extra minute of footage of that. This just makes it so much better. That's funny. But the remake of that where they're just like, we love premarital sex, like that's just so fucking funny. And then it's like, okay, I'm gonna beat you with your friend in the sleeping bag. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
10's awesome. I'm sorry.
10's pretty good. I mean, there's a lot of hate.
Surprisingly good. I mean, again, let's just go outside because what else are you gonna do?
Yeah.
I mean, go outside the box, man. You might as well take a shot at something.
And if we're looking at horror movie sequels that take place in space, Jason X is probably the best because you got Leprechaun 4, which took place in space, sucked. Critters 4, which took place in space.
Oh,
are you gonna say it? There's another one.
There's another one. You're right. What am I thinking of?
It's one of my favorite movies too.
Is it?
Oh yeah. I like it a lot.
Joking.
Hellraiser.
They're right.
Oh, that's right.
You're right.
Most of the movie is not in space, but it is a in-space Hellraiser movie at the end. Spoiler alert, the space station becomes a giant puzzle box and traps the Hellraiser dudes. But the movie itself is really cool because it's the origin of the box. Which I really liked. So there's some weird elements of it, but I like that movie a lot. Hellraiser Bloodlines I thought was a good movie.
Okay, I need to watch that one.
I just wish the Cenobites had a better name because every time I hear Cenobites, I think of like Cinnabon. Cinnamons. Oh, who are you guys? We're the Cenobites. It's like,
why don't Cinnabon make Cinnabites, like little tiny ones?
Yes.
For Halloween, they would make so much money.
I know, right? You're welcome, Cinnabon. I just made you $1 billion.
Oh yeah. Oh man. Yeah, it's just crazy. It's just like Cinnabites, and then you're like that automatically. You're thinking of Cinnabon, cinnamon rolls. It's like, yeah.
I think with Hellraiser, I've only went to the 3rd one. I don't think I've seen them after that.
Well, Bloodlines was the 4th. That was the in space 1, 2, and 3, and then after that, they really kind of just became like these dumb detective stories. Like every time I watch them, it's like it's a detective and he's got like a daughter and they're like somebody's kidnapped, and it's like this is dumb. I'm not watching this anymore.
Okay. Yeah.
So I was never really a Hellraiser guy to begin with. Like the first 3, I was like, this is apparently not for me because I don't get it. I really don't get it. And I think that's why I like the 4th one because it was just that origin story of the box and everything. So it was a little more linear and made sense to me. But like the first one where you just got like this guy who's just like trying to get himself fucked up. I was like, I don't get it. So something's not connecting up here. So maybe I need to watch it again with a more adult mind and understand what's going on. I don't know.
That's kind of what that was. Like when I first watched it, I was like, what is this fucked up mess? Pardon my language. What is this mess? And then when I watched it as an adult, I was like, oh, okay, I get it now.
Okay. So I'll go back and watch it. Yeah.
There was an interview with Matt Stone, and he said in an interview he got the voice of Satan from South Park. He got that idea for the voice of Satan from Hellraiser 2, Hellbound, where Pinhead goes, I remember. And that's how he got the voice for Satan, because he's like, I watched that Hellraiser movie, and that scene where he's just like, I remember, and then and then all of a sudden all those guys turn good and they go against the other guy, and it's like it was like the dumbest shit I'd ever seen. So
See, I don't even remember. Like, wasn't part 2? Wasn't that his origin? Like the dude's origin story?
Yeah.
Like how he became, like he was an army dude or whatever.
And it was like the crazy dude.
A World War One veteran.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like that crazy dude.
And then the only thing I remember about 3 was Terry Farrell was in it from Star Trek.
Yeah.
I don't remember 3 at all, honestly.
Actually, what was funny is I went to a Star Trek convention, and Terry Farrell was there. And it wasn't a Star Trek; it was just like a general convention. But Terry Farrell was there, and so I was like, "Oh shit, I gotta go get a picture and get her signed." And like, I did it so late that all the Star Trek pictures were gone, so I had to get a Hellraiser picture of her. But it was a cool picture. She's like holding the box and stuff. So I was like, "Okay, that's fine." You know, I met her, so it was cool.
That'd be me anyway. I'd probably went for the Hellraiser one anyway.
Yeah, I probably would have gone for that one. Well, yeah, yep,
yeah.
For me at the time, I would have preferred a Star Trek shot, just because I was like deep in Star Trek at the time with all my friends. We were like Next Gen and DS9. We were like all about it. So which is why we went down to see her. So, yeah.
I actually met the girl that played Jim's voice, the old TV show Jim, the cartoon.
Yeah,
and she played in a movie called it's Summer Camp Massacre. And I went to her, I'm like, so do you have Summer Camp Massacre pictures? She's like, oh, I happen to. And she pulled them out. Like, she didn't have them on the table, but she had them underneath the desk, underneath the table. And I'm like, I want that. And she's like, okay, I love you so much that you've done that. She goes, here's a Jim pic too. And she signed it real quick and sent it to me too.
Somebody asked, yes, me
nice.
That's awesome.
Nice. Yeah, I've been to a few horror shows, and for the most part, most of the actors that are there are pretty like into being there. Like it seems very rare that those guys are like, you know, the exception was the last time I was at one. Well, not the last one, 2 times ago. Tara Reid was there. And man, was she a biatch. But everybody else was like fully into it, and they were having a good time, and you know, they're well aware that they've made crap and they're just enjoying it. You know, like the dude who played the guy from Silent Night, Deadly Night Deadly Night. Like he was there, and he's just like, yeah, this is crap, man, but this was fun, you know. So they get it, which is awesome, because that's what makes it fun. We all know it's crap. We all having a good time with it.
Oh yeah.
If the actors are willing to play the game too, it just makes it so much better.
Hell yeah! Like I love, actually, honestly, to be honest with you, I love going to horror shows more than conventions like Comic Cons, just because I have more fun there. Because like I meet Billy West from Futurama at a Comic Con, and then, you know, the line's long, and he's Russian, you know, he does voice here and there. But then I go to HorrorCon, and I meet Jennifer Rubin from Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, Dream Warriors, and I go, like, because at the time when I met her, it was like right when she did that Nightmare on Elm Street documentary.
Oh yeah,
saying that everyone was trying to hook up with Patricia Arquette, and no one found her attractive, and I was just like, you were the hottest chick in that movie, and like we had like almost like 45-minute conversation, also because I was like the only one in line for her. But yeah, I mean, it was awesome. I mean, like I met the entire cast at Dream Warriors. They love to talk.
Oh damn!
The guy who flew the flyboy from not Dawn of the Dead, but Day of the Dead. You know what I'm talking about? The Jamaican voice, Terry something.
I can't remember his name.
But he was like super cool. I mean, and I met Ken Foray from Dawn of the Dead. Super cool dude. Also, that dude's like 2 feet taller than me. Very intimidating, but he's cool.
When we went to the very first Texas Frightmare weekend, we went to when Wizard World was doing Texas. They had the very first Texas Frightmare weekend. It was right next door to it. I mean, we literally just walked across the hall and we was there. But what was really cool is, and Tom will love this because he was giving a hell tonight. They had pretty much the full cast from Friday the 13th Part 5. There, they had the mom,
so that's cool. I would dig that, because
they were awesome.
Just because you made a bad movie doesn't mean we can't watch it. You know, it's fine.
They had Danny Trejo, which is amazingly nice in person. He is so cool, and they actually had Corey Feldman.
Yeah, Corey gets around to some of these places. Yeah,
and we met Corey Feldman, and I was reserved. I'm like, I'm just going to get the autograph to say thank you, go, blah blah blah. And like we went up and actually he wanted to talk to us. Like I don't know if it's just the act or not, but he genuinely wanted to talk to us, and I was surprised. I was like, oh man. But yeah, I've been to and we met Ari Lyman there that played the first Jason, and we've been friends with him ever since.
When you met Corey Feldman, did he try to sell you his CD?
No, he didn't have it. That's how old that was. He did not have his CD yet. And yeah, but he was everybody that was there. Tom Noonan was there. He was really nice. I forgot who all was there. There was a bunch of, most of them from Friday the 13th Part 5. The Jason guy was there, the ambulance driver that was the Jason.
Yeah.
But yeah, I ended up being late to my table at
that was
because I was over there talking to them. And I was like, crap, I got to go. But yeah, I want to do more horror shows. I've only done one, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, the Texas Frightmare, Savini, he's never in that, they don't really announce him as a guest, but I went to the one last year, and he was set up, and he wasn't even on the guest list, and I was like, man, I didn't know Tom Savini was going to be here, and then one of the guys who worked the show is like, yeah, he just shows up every year, and we give him a table. You don't say no to Tom Savini.
Nice.
I have a quick story with Tom Savini that I could tell for a friend of mine. Eddie will probably kill me for this, but Eddie met him, and I've always heard Tom Savini's kind of
standoffish,
just kind of back and forth,
Yeah.
And I've talked to him. I've never had a problem with him. But my friend Eddie, he had the Creepshow comic. And
okay.
He's like, so he went up to him, Tom was going nuts, and he signed the comic for him and everything and all. Well, Eddie says, I done a mistake. I wanted to go up and talk to him again. And he's just he says, I really loved what you done on this one movie. And he said, Tom just kind of turned around at him and was like, so? And just kind of go back to talking to his friend, and Eddie was like, crap. He just kind of took this deal and just kind of hunkered down and walked away.
Was it the Jack the Ripper movie?
Oh, I don't know. The Burning.
Jason Alexander, Seinfeld, Burning.
I forget about him being in that.
Everyone forgets about that because he's got hair in that movie.
That's one you got to watch, Tom. If you
I just remember him from the original McBLT commercials.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Surprisingly, the McBLT lasted longer than his hair did.
Oh my gosh.
Poor Jason Alexander was next day is poof gone.
He did that. He did KFC commercials. I mean, that guy went around the fast food circuit for commercials. You'd think now he's I'm on Seinfeld. I don't have to do this anymore.
Even George Clooney's doing commercials now. He was on commercial for something the other day, and I was like, what world am I in where George Clooney's doing a commercial? It was weird.
Well,
I mean, the last thing I remember him doing was that movie Tomorrowland that tanked. So, but you'd think he's doing fine off all the Batman royalties.
Well, he's still getting residuals from doing the South Park movie.
Oh, yeah.
He also played the voice of Sparky, the gay dog.
Sparky the gay dog.
Wow.
The car. Chicks love the car.
Speaking of dog, I love that in Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4, that's how Freddy comes back.
The dog.
Because the dog pissed fire.
Yep. Well, and the dog's name was Jason.
Yep.
Yes,
yep.
It was.
So Jason brought him back.
And what's his name? Who played Kincaid in that movie?
Oh, I knew he was going to ask that. He does the con circuits a lot now.
He was actually in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah. Yeah, somebody search it. Jim's searching it.
I got it.
Bam. As soon as you say it.
Why isn't that showing me? It's just showing me the character's biography. I don't care about the character's biography.
Christy?
Ken Sogos.
Yes. There you go.
So, yeah, I love how when he's talking about when he's talking about Part 4, he's like, I just told all my friends, don't buy anything at the concession stand. Just go in.
Yeah.
I died. Then you can go back out and get your shit.
If you
got the off in Part 3.
Yeah, he said if you're going to see me, don't buy anything. Just go in real quick and leave.
He also said that his biggest claim to fame was that he was one of the very few black guys to survive in a horror movie.
Yep.
But Friday the 13th Part 5, that kid survives in that movie. Can't
They
remember
got the kid back too. Man, see, Tom's got it. They need to have like a Survivor Friday the 13th movie.
Yeah, he survived part 5. You don't ever hear anything about him again. Nothing.
Mm-mm.
Oh, he does.
the next one?
Girl.
There's plenty of survivors from these movies. I mean, especially as the farther along you go, the more they kind of tend to survive. But yeah, I just think it would be an easy thing to do. I mean, it would an obvious, easy reboot without doing a full on reboot. I happen to like the Derek Mears reboot. Like, I didn't really have any problem with it. I didn't think that it like elevated anything. Like, it was still kind of like what we'd seen before, outside of like tunneling Jason. But I was like, this is fine. This is what Friday the 13th is. I mean, I don't know what else you want from Friday the 13th other than Jason is running around killing stone teenagers. I mean, that's what it is.
He was so brutal in that one, though.
Oh yeah, for sure.
God.
There are a few scenes in that movie that I really liked. That was like a throwback. Like, if you had seen all the Friday the 13th movies and then you saw that, and like then you see like when he gets the hockey mask and all this and all that. He starts out with the sack. It's like, this is really cool. Like, you don't you don't see that very often in a reboot of a character like that. And like, but my favorite kill in that movie, there's the one where he takes the axe, throws it, hits the dude, and then when he grabs that one guy the guy who was like, your tits are stupendous or whatever, he was having sex for like half the movie, where he just grabs him and then throws him onto that pickup truck, and the pickup truck just drives away. It's like, oh my God, that's awesome.
And they actually said they wasn't going to do that. Like, that was an improvised, like Derek said, hey, why don't we just pick this dude up and just like throw him up there and let's put a harness on him and make him like stick on it. And that wasn't going to be in the movie at all. That was an improvisation. I was like, oh man. And that was awesome.
Now, like in a lot of like Nightmare on Elm Street, Child's Play, Friday the 13th, Halloween, there's always characters who survive. But what about the horror movies where the good guys don't always win? Like the Wrong Turn movies. Those are pretty good.
Oh my God.
Tom, have you ever seen any of those?
No.
Oh, Tom.
Oh my God, it's so great. Oh, you think like it makes you believe the whole movie. Like, these guys, all right, well, obviously, like Seth Rollins is in this movie. He's gonna make it out at the end of the movie.
2, wasn't it?
Nope. I think he was in 2 or 3.
2.
But my favorite Wrong Turn is the one where the woman, at the beginning of the movie, there's a woman running in a woods. And so it's about like these inbred West Virginia guys. So it's like, it's almost like real life. But the guy jumps out in front of this woman, cuts off her finger, and then he's chasing her, and then he like starts cutting her up, and then he cuts off her hand, and her hand is like going like this, and then as he's slicing her up, you hear her scream, and then the blood just goes on the leaves, and it goes, wrong turn, and then the hand goes 5. It's awesome. It's the best opening of a horror movie.
Oh.
No, never even heard of those things.
Oh my! Yeah, there's like 6 of them, I think.
Okay.
2, you would love at the beginning of Tom. It's kind of a spoiler, but I'll go ahead and tell you. Like, they show this girl, and she's like in a car, and something happens. She's running. Same thing. They like cut one of her fingers off, and the guy grabs the finger. He starts eating it because they're cannibals and stuff and all. But this girl's just like screaming, and they show like a shot of her on like it's from the ground, and it's from behind. All you see is her legs sitting there like this, kind of like a shot like this.
Mm-hmm.
And all you see is an axe come down in between her, and she falls in half. And like it shows the guts falling, and then like her legs are going flonk, and they just fall over.
Yeah,
it's the coolest shot.
They're super, super gory movies, but they're really awesome. Like, especially when like, and like I was saying before, horror movies where it's just like there's always a survivor, but like this one, it's like everyone dies.
No, they die. The snow scene, was it the 4th one?
Also, that's one of the reasons why I like the Omen, the original The Omen, because everybody dies. The kid wins, and that's such a great movie. I actually just watched that not long ago.
Yeah.
Still a great movie. Like, legitimately, that shit is good. And I think that was Joe Dante. So I mean, that guy doesn't. Yeah. I mean, that guy doesn't make anything bad. So yeah, that was a
Man.
so that Omen is fantastic. The second one's okay too. The third one's really weird with Sam Neill.
Yeah.
Is plays Damien. And finally Jesus comes down and wins. But
Jesus like
yeah.
gone.
Yeah. It was a really kind of anticlimactic ending. You know, all this build up and it's like, well, I guess we're done.
I need to watch the Omen and Exorcist again. I haven't seen both of those in a while. But I know I love the Omen. I love both Exorcist too.
Yeah, The Exorcist is great. The Exorcist 3 is one of those movies that most people don't even know about. And 2 is pointless, but 3 is actually a really good movie.
That's the one of Brad Dourif.
Yeah.
Voice of Chucky.
Yeah, the voice of Chucky.
Yeah. He's in 3.
Yeah.
It brings back the original priest who's now possessed by the devil. Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Spoiler
Again,
alert.
It's only 40 years old, but spoiler alert.
Is it 40 years old? Jesus.
Almost.
Yeah.
I mean, 1980 is 40 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh my god. And that's all my comic books are about is 40 years.
And I've seen most of these movies when I was younger. Okay.
I'll tell you one of the craziest movies that I saw, and it's not really a horror movie, but it destroyed me because I have claustrophobia. It was Ryan Reynolds did a movie called Buried.
Oh God.
You ever heard of that, Jim?
Oh yeah.
So basically, he's a guy over in Afghanistan during the war, and he's in a convoy, and his convoy gets shot up, and they basically put him in a coffin and bury him alive. And the story is that somehow they're using this to like threats and ransom. The terrorists are doing this, they do this. And so the movie is Ryan Reynolds in the casket. Right. And I'm sitting here watching this movie and cause it's him in the casket, right? He's like, he wakes up and he's like, oh shit, I'm in the box. And things are happening. And I'm like, okay, that's fucking freaky. Cause it's really filmed really well. And I'm sitting here thinking, okay, at some point we're going to like cut away and we're going to see like, the government trying to find him or whatever. No, this goddamn movie is 2 hours of you inside the box with Ryan Reynolds.
Jesus.
And literally, I had to stand up and like walk like to watch this movie. I was like, oh my fucking God, I have to get out of this box. It's filmed so good that it's terrifying, especially if you have claustrophobia, which I do.
Yeah.
As soon as it was done, I had to like run outside and like just look at the sky. And it's a really scary movie from this concept, And I've told people, like, if you have claustrophobia, don't watch this movie.
Yeah.
If you just want a really kind of like a thriller type of thing, it's really good. It's really good.
I came that close to theater going to see that at the theater, and I'm glad I didn't because I seen Kill Bill 2 in the theater. And just that little scene she's got where she's in the grave like that. And it was only like probably a 5-minute scene. I was hyperventilating. I was freaking out. And for me to see that whole 2-hour movie in the theater, I would have had just like leave. I'd have been like, no, done. Okay, I'm out of here. No more. It's that good, Jim. You need to watch it.
Yeah. Trish asked a good question as well. Shit, where'd it go? Oh God.
I wish I could see comments. I can't all be gone though.
What's your favorite horror movie based on real life events?
Based on real life.
Well, there's a lot of things that are based on real life, but they're not really. I mean, they're really expanded. Like Texas Chainsaw Massacre is supposedly based on real life, but not really. It's I don't know. I mean, I'd have to kind of get a list of like things that are because even The Exorcist had some basis in some real life elements. So I would say that it would be The Exorcist and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, just kind of off the top of my head.
Let's see. I'm trying to think of.
And then there's stuff that tells you it's based on real things and it's bullshit. Did you guys ever see the movie called The Fourth Kind with the UFO story? That was a fucking great movie. I was so like, I'm watching this shit after watching all the marketing. It's like based on real events, and I'm like watching this like, what the hell are you talking about? And then I go home afterwards to like look at it, like, where did this footage come from? I need to know more. And it's like, oh yeah, it's all bullshit. This was just marketing.
Yeah.
Same with like the Blair Witch. The Blair Witch is like, oh yeah, we found this footage under a post. And then it's like, no, this is just made up crap.
The Amityville Horror is pretty decent.
Oh, that's good. Yep, that's
a
good.
one.
That's Ryan Reynolds too. He's in the remake. And so is Hit Girl. Yeah. Chloe Grace Moretz is in that movie.
Yeah. Whatever happened to her?
She's still around. She just I mean, I don't know what she's doing now, but she's in all kinds of weird genre stuff.
Yeah.
I get her and that chick from Zombieland confused.
Emma Stone?
No, not Emma Stone. There's another chick in that movie.
I know you're
the other girl, Abigail Breslin?
Yeah.
That's the one. Yeah, I get them confused. It's like, hey, they're blonde white girls. I don't know.
One is Hit Girl and one isn't. It's easy, man. Come on.
Yeah. I can't believe Abigail Breslin played Hit Girl that time. What the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, Amityville Horror is good. The original Amityville Horror is good. The second one's actually okay too, but it's more jump scares. It's not really like it's not thriller scares. It's like
one. Which one is it with like the part that always freaked me out? Amityville. I can't remember if it's I think it's the third one, where like the
third of 12.
And the girlfriend goes out in the boat, and they're like everybody thinks they're out on the boat having a party, and then like they come back and the mom's in the house, and the girl comes in the house and she's like all wet, and she's like, "Mom, I think I'm just gonna go lay down. I don't feel good." And it was like shows her going up the stairs, and then like the mom looks out the window and there's like a commotion outside, and they go out and they're like, "She's dead in the boat. They had an accident in the boat."
Jesus, that's in 3D. Amityville.
Yeah, the Amityville horror movies are whacked, man. All that whole series is like, what is going on?
God. That creeped me out when I was a kid so bad. I was like, "Ew, go away."
There's a lot of those. Yeah, there's a lot of those.
Yeah.
The one that freaked me out when I was a kid.
Which one?
Child's Play 3.
See, the kid Chucky was never a thing for me. Chucky was always like, I would kick him in the face.
Well, how old were you when that movie came out?
It was like,
well, no, I wasn't your age because I'm not a millennial. So
try being 5 years old and literally
I get that.
You're scrolling through the channels on TV with your grandparents and you see a doll on TV and you think, I want to watch that. I don't know what that is. And then when you go back, he's literally going through a hallway with a knife, and it's just like, it's fucking.
Well, listen,
shit out of me.
What you just described is basically my Exorcist experience. 8 years old in the basement with no light on, and I can't find the switch, and I'm watching The Exorcist at 8 years old. Like, what the hell? Yeah, no, that destroyed me for like months.
The one that destroyed me.
It was bad. It was so bad. My sister whispered Chucky in my ear. Oh my God.
Man, my age is like, I remember when Chucky came out the theater. I wanted to go see it so bad. I remember the first Chucky coming out, Child's Play. But I just remember there was this commercial. And me and Jim kind of talked about this because you talked about the see that Chucky freaked you out. But had this commercial that there was this kid and his dad, or this little girl and her dad. And he's like, I warned you, you wanted to go see this movie, and we went and saw it, and she was like bawling. And they was going like, I warned you, I told you didn't want to see this movie, but no, it had a doll in it, and you wanted to go see it, and blah, blah, blah. And this little girl was like traumatized. She was just like screaming, and I'm like, yeah, I know, I'm not watching this movie.
Yeah, the See the Chucky trailer was a 2004. I went to go see Dodgeball, the Vince Vaughn movie, and they had the See the Chucky trailer in, for that movie, and in the trailer, it just shows a baby. It's a sonogram. It's a baby in a womb, and it says with every new generation, there's like you don't know what's coming up, and then all of a sudden, the baby's head turns and it has the Chucky eyes and the face and it had red eyes, and it scared the fuck out of me, man. Because now that came out when I was like 11, and it's like that, so going from 5, seeing Child's Play 3, and then seeing that trailer at 11, it reinstated like, "Oh, you're afraid? You're not afraid of Chucky anymore?" Boom! Here's a trailer. It's like, fuck, man. Like, it took me a long time to finally watch all those movies. It was fucking bad.
Funny. Well, when I saw Friday the 13th 3,
you kick him.
kick him in the head.
Yeah.
When I saw Friday the 13th 3, at the very end, Jason jumps through the window and like grabs the chick off of the sofa and pulls her back out.
Yeah.
I had just in my bedroom rearranged my bedroom so that my bed was under the window, like directly under the window. So I'm like laying down and the window's right here. And I'm just staring at the window all night long. I had to like move all my shit again. I was like, I can't be here. I have to go over here now. So I put my bed in the corner and I don't know why my mom kept letting me watch this shit. Because we were like renting videos and stuff. I mean, some of it was just like on HBO was starting to happen in cable TV and stuff. So I was just like catching things, it's HBO free weekend. Watch some movies. Okay. I'll watch the horror crap that I, shouldn't be watching. I mean, that's how I found like The Howling. It was just on TV, Halloween TV. And it's like, oh, it's monsters for all October. And here's The Howling and all this other crap. And,
the Sci-Fi Channel was like that for me when I was growing up. Like every couple weeks or like every few months, like it would be like, okay, so we got like they get the rights to distribute the It miniseries. It would go on for like a week, and I remember like there was one. I was in second grade, and I was at recess, and like there was like a sewer, like right next to the playground and stuff, and I remember these kids were like, "Oh man, like did you watch It last night?" And I was like, "What's it?" And they're like, "Oh, dude, Sci-Fi Channel, check it out, man. It's fucking. There's a clown in it." And I was like, "I love the big comfy couch. I mean, how bad is this gonna be? I mean, this guy's gotta be fun. It's got clowns in it." And like, I wasn't really scared of it, but it kind of did freak me out a little bit when he comes out of the shower drain. Like, I was like, "Oh god." But
like creepy claymation looking stuff. And
he just pushes it out, and like I would do like I would have my remote control and I would click up the last channel button and I would flip back and forth from that to a cartoon. Like, I'm just like, if it gets scary, all I got to do is hit this button and it'll go back to cartoons.
Oh my god.
Yeah, well, that's how I got used to it. But I wasn't afraid of it. But yeah, Chucky though, Jesus, I can't fucking like. I would get freaked out just like going to the movie, going to Blockbuster and seeing just the box art.
Oh, It's Alive and From Beyond, those box arts, like the It's Alive one with that cradle and that baby's hand, like with the forked fingers like hanging over. And then the one From Beyond with the guy with his face was like a side shot like that, and his face was like ripped completely down. Which I love those movies now, but. God, back when I was a kid, the box art used to freak me out like that.
So Trist asked a question, and I can tell you the answer right now.
Oh, yeah.
I think all of us would know it, right?
Oh, I know that. Yeah.
What was the question?
It's a good what?
What was the question?
So what brand of Chucky?
Yeah, they're called the Good Guys, right?
The Good Guy doll.
Good Guy dolls.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an easy question.
Yeah.
It's like the whole plot of the movie. My good guy went bad.
Wanna play?
What I don't understand, from part 2 to part 3, right? They shut the factory down. Yeah. They reopened it in part 3, but they left the thing that Andy was like, "Dad tried to kill me, so I burned it with hot wax," right? But then they just leave it there, and then somehow 10 years later, they reopen the factory and they're like, "Oh yeah, we got to get this piece of shit out of here," and they just pick it up. And the blood gets in the thing, but it's like
that's like Friday the 13th 3. Let's just make some shit up. Like, oh, Jason had a date one time, and and then he came back, and then he went back again. Like, no, don't. We can analyze only so far. Before it all crumbles.
The way the killer comes back in each movie, like, what is the most ridiculous way that any horror movie characters ever come back?
Jack Frost from Jack Frost 2.
All right.
No, how Jack Frost was created.
Look at that.
I love that.
Ginger Dead Man.
Yep. Gary Busey.
I love Gary Busey. Gary Busey is the one guy in Hollywood that I'd never fuck with.
No.
I think that Gary Busey's like the guy that's like, he's murdered some people and no one's ever gonna, like, it's like the Me Too movement, but the Gary Busey movement. No one's ever gonna say that Gary Busey murdered all those people.
No.
I'm too scared. He's Gary Busey. He's a psycho.
I'm trying to think the ones that came back. What would be the most weirdest ones?
There's a lot. There's so many different ways of, like, I mean, Jaws comes back, but that's just a new shark.
Yeah, there's like
Jaws
supposed to be family members.
Jaws, interestingly enough, on Jaws 2, the original script for Jaws 2 and the shooting script actually became the comic book. So there's that too.
Really?
There was in Jaws 2 off of Cable Junction, there was a breeding ground for the sharks. And so there were baby sharks and mama sharks and the whole thing. So that was actually part of the original, what was going to be shot. And it became a comic book. So if you buy the comic book, you get that part of the movie. But it was just tossed out and we just have another shark. Same with, Jaws 3 and 4 and whatever. So yeah. And then in Jaws 4, people were like, why the fuck is this Jaws guy going to the Bahamas? Like, what? This doesn't make any sense. Again, in the original script and in the novel, in the book, the adaptation, there's a voodoo part to it where a voodoo guy sends the shark after the Brodies. So there's all these little pieces of things that would have kind of made more sense to some of these movies. But they were cut out. But I just got the novel for Jaws the Revenge. So I'm like, yeah, I need some voodoo story. Yeah. So I'm excited to kind of read that thing and see what the hell the difference is. Because even Jaws, the book, to Jaws the movie is very, very completely different, in fact. So, and then Jaws 2 also is very different from the movie. And then they never adapted Jaws 3 into a book. And then Jaws the Revenge came out. So,
Yeah, the Critters 2, which the way the Krites from the first movie laid eggs in the barn,
right?
Of where all that shit went down, where they killed what's his name, fucking guy from Titanic, Billy Zane.
Billy Zane. Yep.
Billy Zane gets killed in there, and 2 years pass. They move, but Billy Zane died in there. Why didn't they go clean up like all the mess that the Krites left in the barn? And they don't clean it out. They're like, they should have seen those eggs first of all. Like, how did they not see those eggs?
Well, they probably I'm a writer, dude. I can do this. They probably just assumed the eggs were some other eggs. Just like, it's just some eggs, some shit. Who cares? Let's move on. But that's typical horror sci-fi. That's easy. That's easy. That's easy.
The Leprechaun movies, like, you got me gold, and then like, I need a wife, and then he's in space. I'm gonna marry a princess, so people will stop making fun of me for being a leprechaun. Yeah. So there's no gold in part 4.
No. Which I still don't know what the hell I watched.
I hadn't seen the movie in so long. I rewatched it like a week. It comes out of the dude's wiener, like the dude's like dick just like gets bigger and bigger. And and the leprechaun comes out of his wiener, and it's just like, and that's how the dude dies.
Okay, I'm going to help you all get rid of that image. Leprechaun 1 has pre-nose job Jennifer Aniston in it.
And she hates that movie.
People's asked her interviews on that, and she's like, nope.
Well, that's like Showgirls, man. You can't get anybody to talk about Showgirls. Like the cast and crew of that movie, like they're like, hey, can we talk about Showgirls? No, move on.
Which in the last deal we had, Justin Hunt said I bought Showgirls. That is a total lie. I did not buy Showgirls. I almost did, but I didn't.
So Trish asked a question. She says, which is better, the old or the new one?
On Child's Play?
Well, no, which it.
Oh,
so I'm assuming she's talking about the clown movie.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I never saw the original, the miniseries thing that you were talking about. I never saw it. I saw the most recent movie, and I hated it. I was like, this is fucking stupid. All of this is stupid.
Did you ever read the book?
No.
Yeah. Okay.
No.
Okay.
So I knew it was a clown, and I knew because of the miniseries that at some point it became like a big spider thing or whatever. So when we got to part 2 of it, I kind of knew that was coming. But even so, I was like, this is terrible. Now part of it I think was because in the first movie or the first reboot movie, it was basically just Stranger Things. Like, you're just giving me like literally in some cases because the actors are in there. Yeah, right. So Stranger Things was so fresh that I was like, Jesus, this is just another fucking 80s movie. Like, all of this feels like I've been here before, like 2 months ago. Like, nothing is fresh here. So it didn't do anything for me. I did go see the second one, and then I was like, so basically we have an alien spider that became a clown, and you defeated him by bullying him at the end. Yep. Yay. This is amazing.
Well,
I'll pass.
I'll let David go, and then I'll go.
No, I started saying because there's another way they defeated him too, but they couldn't show it in the movie. They had in the book.
Yeah, I only know the movies. That's like my total context of the movies.
Yeah, the movie would have been shut down if they'd had the part in the book. But no, oh God.
You're talking about the kid orgy?
Yeah. Yeah, they'd have like been like, nope, gone.
Yeah, they didn't do that for the miniseries either.
No, the miniseries for the charm. I like the miniseries for the charm. I like both of them.
Well, you got Tim Curry. I mean, that's always a good thing.
Yeah, it's Tim Curry. That's the reason why I love the originals. Tim Curry. Can't go wrong with that.
I can see that.
Boy.
The remake I like because it was like Stranger Things.
Yeah.
And then I like the whole. I loved how on the second one, the remake is when they was still had that camaraderie as adults.
Mm-hmm.
And I like more the adult side of that story than I like the ending of seeing Pennywise being killed and bullied. I like the whole about them being in the scenes together, like Bill Hader and James Avery, how you say it, and Jessica Chastain and all of them. I like seeing them act together more than I like the ending of the movie, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, there was nothing wrong with the movies.
No.
Like, I'm not considering some they were terrible. I was just bored out of my mind. Number one, I don't have a clown problem. Like, clowns, again, I'll kick you in the nuts, man.
They don't bother me.
So that there was that. But the kids were good. They were good actors.
Yeah.
The actors in the next movie were good. It was fine. It just didn't do anything for me from a story standpoint. And then when it became an alien spider, I was like, this is fucking retarded. Yes.
So for me, like, I have a lot of love for actors and actresses in movies in general. And in the miniseries, I mean, you have such an amazing cast between the kids and the adults, and obviously Tim Curry as Pennywise. You have Seth Green as Richie.
Yep.
You know, he's a comedic relief. And then to look back on that movie and to see what Seth Green has done since it, he did that movie Tick, and that's all he's ever done since then. He hasn't done anything else. His career just went down the drain after Tick. No, seriously, he went on the Great Robot Chicken. I mean, and do the voice of Chris Griffin on Family Guy.
Family Guy show or something.
Sex Drive, man. Sex Drive.
Yeah, he was an Amish guy in Sex Drive. Yeah, I mean, that movie. After Tick, he was like, I don't know what to do with my life. Then, 10 years later, he does Sex Drive, and now he's back in the mainstream.
Need to watch it.
But I mean, and you got Tim Reed as Mike. I mean, John Ritter. John Ritter is in the original miniseries, and like it. I feel like it was a precursor to John Ritter in horror, because I feel like if it wasn't for the It miniseries, you wouldn't have John Ritter in Bride of Chucky.
Yeah.
So there's that. But then then now we're going to the new movies, and being a reader of the book, and obviously in 1990 they couldn't do a lot of what happened in the book to span across that 3-hour time that they had to do on a television. It was on TV. It wasn't a movie that came out.
Yeah,
it
network TV. It wasn't even cable or anything. It was just network TV.
And so there's a lot of gore that you couldn't show. And not saying that there's a lot of gore in it, but there's still scenes that they couldn't show on TV. And so they're very limited. And the thing with it, he's not just a clown. He's whatever you fear. So he comes back as a wolf man or as a mummy or, Frankenstein,
Yeah.
and he's actually he's from outer space, and his arch nemesis is a turtle. Dude, it's the story, the backstory.
So it's a Gamera movie.
Yeah, there you go.
The back.
Now I like it much better.
And the new It movies, they had so much that was in the book that was not in the miniseries that I really enjoyed. There's things that they did that I was like, this is awesome. I'm glad that they did that, because I've always wanted to see, there's certain scenes that I specifically remember, like especially for part 2 where they throw the gay guy over the bridge.
Yeah.
It's killed, and there's all those balloons in the book. That also happens, but in the book, because you got to remember, it's a what's the saying? It's a novelty of its time. The book came out in the 80s, so obviously it's going to be about kids growing up in the 50s, coming of age, and then adults in the 80s. So in the 80s, being gay was a bad thing, and still today, that's still frowned upon in some places, and some, it's unfortunate. It still happens.
Yeah.
But I like that they didn't do a 50s to 80s thing, and they did an 80s to today thing, because if they did a 50s to 80s thing, it would be just like, I mean, people seeing it now, they weren't born in the 50s. They can't relate to that. They could have been born in the 80s, and they could relate to that.
Yeah,
totally.
So I get the Stranger Thing thing, but also like I like that they did the 80s to today, just to be more relatable to the audience.
It was just the 80s thing just was kind of happening.
Yeah,
over the past few years, like, hey, let's just put everything in the 80s, man, and let's hire all the same actors too, and and just keep it going.
But the guy who played Richie in the new one, Finn Wolfhard and Bill Hader, I mean, the kid was fucking great.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And Bill Hader's great as well. And and I don't remember the guy who played Eddie, the adult Eddie. He was in season 2 of The Wire. He is the guy at the duck.
Oh, okay.
That's all I remember him from is The Wire. Yeah, he was like one of the side characters in The Wire for one season, and then they were like, "Let's go back to what season 1 was," and they're like, "You're right." And then, and so but yeah, I mean the relationship between Eddie and Richie was kind of interesting. It's like, oh, okay, so they have a relationship. Oh, okay. Like, didn't see that coming. Like, there's things in there I thought was really interesting. So I love both for different reasons. I love the new ones because of the book, and I love the old ones because of the novelty and it was something different that it was at a time where Stephen King movies were failing miserably at the box office.
Yeah.
So this was a test to see how it would do on television. I mean, this is post maximum overdrive Stephen King.
Watch it. Watch it. We're gonna scare the shit out of you.
The rest of us will not save the movie.
Oh my god, I couldn't even finish that movie. I couldn't. I got halfway through and I was like, no.
You didn't get to see the rocket in the mouth of the yellow or the green hobgoblin pickup and blow up and everything. They're like, woohoo! And they made it.
No.
So there you go. I told you the ending. Now you have to watch it. I told you the ending.
Oh man, the bad guy's a truck. Well, I guess I'll just hide in a building.
We made you. We made you.
It just was not. I don't know, man. It was not. It did not land for me. Did not land for me.
Speaking of landing, what do you think of the Blob?
Which one?
I thought they're both good. I saw the first Blob first. It was like on Elvira or something. So that's where I saw that one back as a kid, and I was like, yeah, this is cool. I only saw the remake Blob just recently, like this year.
The 80s one.
Yeah, the 80s one, just this year. And I was like, well, shit, this is pretty good too. Outside of them, killing Erica Leniak, which I was kind of like, you bastards. It was good. It was an 80s movie, clearly, but it was fine. I thought the effects were good, and it was good. It was good.
I was watching I watched Slither last night, James Gunn's Slither. Yes. And I was watching that, and the whole time I'm just thinking, like, it's got like Night of the Creeps and the Blob all together in like one movie.
He admitted that, dude.
Yeah.
Like on making of, he's like, I kind of stole from the Blob and Night of the Creeps. And I'm like,
They're great movies,
Yeah.
and it's a great movie though. I mean, it's
yeah.
Nathan Fillion, the hot chick that like I've always wanted to be with from Wet Hot American Summer. What's her name? Elizabeth Banks.
Oh, Elizabeth Banks.
No, is that her
Yeah,
name?
it's Elizabeth Banks
Yeah.
from 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Make a porno. Make a porno, Elizabeth
Yeah,
Banks.
Zack and Miri. Yeah, she's in tons of things. She's in Pitch Perfect. She's in everything. Yeah, she's great.
Yeah, but she is in everything. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, yes. So there's a great for like Clowns from Outer Space.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Never saw it. Again, I have no clown thing. So anything that's like, here's a clown, I'm like,
so good.
I don't get it.
I'm pretty sure it's still on Netflix.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure there's no doubt. I think a friend of mine has it on his Plex or something, so I could probably find it.
What is the most viewed horror movie that you've seen?
It would either be, this is pretty easy. It would either be one or the other. It would either be Halloween, the first Halloween.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It would be The Howling.
Okay.
It would be 1 and 1A. They would be pretty equal. Yeah.
What about you, David?
2 for me. Well, maybe 3. Creep Show, Night of the Creeps, and Poltergeist.
Really?
Oh yeah, Night of the Creeps is one of my favorite movies, dude.
Hell yeah.
Thrill me.
I'm telling you, that's the best drinking game. Tom Atkins, he's got an action figure where he's holding a beer. I mean,
have it. I bought it. I bought that from Shout Factory. That's how much I love that movie.
it's such a great movie. So for me, most viewed horror movies, shit, man, it's got to be either Army of Darkness or Evil Dead 2. Honestly.
Oh yeah.
I got introduced to Bruce Campbell at a very young age, probably at the age I shouldn't have gotten introduced to Bruce Campbell. However, it was Army of Darkness, Bruce Campbell. It was a couple years until I finally saw Evil Dead 2 and Evil Dead. I didn't know there were 2 movies before Army of Darkness.
Oh.
And Army of Darkness was the only movie that at the time they would play Army of Darkness on the Sci-Fi Channel, on any of the network shows, because it was made by Universal. But the other 2 movies they never really showed on TV. So I never knew that.
and Army of Darkness is really just kind of a fantasy movie. It's not really
it's
sexual or overly graphic or anything. It's just, it's just kind of
nobody's getting raped.
Here's some zombies, whatever. Yeah. Skeletons. Yeah. Yeah. There's no tree molesters. Yeah.
Go ahead and say it, Jim. I heard you. Go ahead and say it.
What?
About the tree.
Oh, getting raped by trees?
Yeah, they don't get raped by trees in that one.
They don't, but there is a nude scene. Actually, I've seen more. That might have been the first movie I saw boobs in, because there's a scene. If you listen to the commentary too, like
I know exactly where I saw my first boobs.
Sam Raimi on the commentary. Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell said that the specific scene in this movie of Army of Darkness, they're like, yeah, we don't know why this scene's in this movie. There was a producer that said, we need to have a topless chick. She's got to have chains. You got to put her in chains. She's got to be topless. And so there's a scene in the movie where it's right after Evil Ash is hooking up with Sheila, and then there's a skeleton that's like, "Come on, girly girl," and he pulls her on the chain, and then she's topless. Yeah, and like that, it's a blanket, and it's edited out on a lot. Like even like if you watch Army of Darkness like on Encore or something, it's still like sometimes they cut out that scene for some reason. It's crazy.
Boobs. Why?
I love boobs. Boobs in movies are awesome. Boobs in horror movies are better.
Here's where I'm 99% sure that this is where I saw it. You guys know Airplane, of course.
Yes.
Oh God, yeah.
The boob scene. like
too.
I'm sitting there watching Airplane, and then everybody loses their shit, and all of a sudden it's just like, there's boobs shaking, and it's like, what?
It's a PG movie. It's a PG movie.
Yeah, it was like, what just happened?
They tell them that the pilots are knocked out. Everyone's freaking out. There's a topless chick that just bounces her tip and then just runs off screen. It makes no sense. I love that movie. So that is a very memorable.
I like the second one, and I know the second one's terrible. I know it is. It's bad.
That's the one where they go to space.
Yeah, that's one with William Shatner.
Airplane in space.
The door, it's like, and they go. I love it. I love
Yeah.
those movies.
Police Academy 2, The First Assignment, where Mahoney's he's on the beach and he's driving one of those things, and the guy got like two guys in a truck are driving by and they're scaring the women are bathing topless and stand up and they're going up and down. That's another one of those movies I saw when I was a kid. I probably shouldn't have seen.
Well, yeah, that was back in the. I mean, this is before your time, even Jim, was when cable started happening, and HBO and really that was all there was at the time was HBO, was playing like uncut movies, you know, and it was like, oh my god, we got to like go to whoever's friend had HBO's house and like have the sleepover so that we could watch movies,
Yep.
you know, till 2 a.m, whatever the hell HBO was playing. So yeah, HBO changed the game for the you know the teenage years back in the day.
So I told Jim, like back in the day, we lived in a small town. I lived on a farm, and we was the first ones pretty much in our town that got a VCR. Well, we would go out and buy movies to go. They had a Beggar's Video. That's when we got Evil Dead 2, and all of them, and you know, and everything. So we'd go out and rent these movies, and everybody, the kids in my class, would be like, "Did you get Evil Dead? Can we come over tonight? We'll buy pizza. We'll bring pizza over." So there wouldn't be nothing for us to have like 40 kids sitting around. We watched like Evil Dead. We watched oh god, Faces of Death when they came out.
Oh sure, yeah,
yeah,
Faces of Death,
and
yeah,
all these and like
all that horseshit stuff.
Watching these and we was the house that everybody went to see horror movies. So it was like that.
You know that you know that the Faces of Death is basically the Loch Ness monster, right? It's just all fake shit.
It is. Yeah. Like
no one knew that at the time. It's like it's banned in 32 countries and you know all this. But yeah, it came out not long ago that it was all just rigged
they
stuff.
Came out with the DVDs and I bought the DVD set and like in the last DVD it's like this is how we faked Faces of Death. And it shows every scene that was faked.
Except for the ones overseas.
Yeah, they said the ones for overseas was real. Like if they showed like the one with the tank, like the guy getting actually
run over by a tank.
That was real. But like the monkey, no, that wasn't real.
So what about horror movies that were so hyped up like this horror movie is meant to scare you, like just keep saying it's only a movie, like out of all the horror movies
that was what I Spit on Your Grave, right?
No, that was it Last House on the Left.
That's on the left. That's on the left.
Yeah. But out of all those horror movies that everyone's hyped up, like, oh, it's gonna scare the shit out of you. What's one of those horror movies that people have said it's gonna scare the shit out of you, but it didn't?
Almost everything. I mean, and I think it's because I was basically ruined at 8 years old watching The Exorcist that nothing else could possibly terrify me. You know, a lot of the stuff that I have problems with is more based on like real life stuff. Right. like the claustrophobia movie was like, oh fuck that. I can't do that. But a lot of like now a lot of this stuff, like I'm watching, you know, My Bloody Valentine and whatever. This is just slasher stuff, dude. I was watching The Mutilator when I was 12. I'm fine.
Oh, yeah.
This is not an issue for me. So a lot of the stuff that's scary, it really comes from stuff like Jaws is more scary for me because it's like that shit's in the water. And I know that like sharks are real. And so it could be real, you know? So I have problems with that. Like I'm not going swimming in the ocean. Like it's just not happening. But as far as like, you know, mass murderers and all that kind of stuff, it's like, that's just funny stuff. Do
you want me to do mine real quick?
Yeah.
Because I'm going to go on a rant. I'm telling you right now.
Oh my God. Here we go. Get ready. Everybody get ready.
Get ready.
Sit back.
There's 2 damn movies, I swear. If somebody ever tells me again they're scarier than hell, and I bought both of them, and I still have them. I keep telling them to like sell them to somebody or something. One of them, which I get it what it was about. Babadook.
I haven't seen that yet.
Okay, basically it's a play on depression.
Okay.
But there is this damn kid in this movie, okay? And he is so damn annoying. Like he he's always going, don't let it in, don't let it in, don't let it in. And he's doing all this stupid stuff. And he's just like in the back of a car, and his arm's like, shut up, shut up. So he's just like, ah! And I'm just like, I want. Okay. It was okay. Stephen King titled is like the scariest movie you ever seen, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Now, the second one, if I die and never see it again, I'll be fine, is It Follows.
I haven't seen that either.
Someone told me about that one. They're like, you gotta watch it. I'm like, okay, and I watch it. Like,
oh, sorry, Jim. Didn't mean to interrupt you.
oh, it's all good.
All it is it's basically a play on sexual, what's it called, diseases.
Okay.
So this girl has like sex with this guy, and he's like, "It's yours now. It's not mine anymore. You have it." And no. So the beginning of it's really cool because like it shows this girl like running down the street, and it shows her on the beach, and she's like, pardon my language, because like I say, it's the only way I can describe it. It's fucked up. Her legs like bent backwards, and her foot's like ripped off, and she's like laying face down on the beach and everything. And I thought, holy crap, this movie's gonna be awesome.
Waiting for it to be awesome still?
It was 2 hours of this girl running from, because basically what it does, it's like a guy that this thing takes shape and it runs after you throughout the whole movie. That's it.
It
and
follows.
They did this stupid ending of where like, and sorry if everybody likes It Follows, I'm sorry, like I'm gonna spoil this for you. I'm going to spoil it because Jen, I know Tom will be sitting here going, they set up this thing of like at a gym with electricity, and they throw it in the pool to kill it, and that's how it ends. And I'm just sitting there going, "What the hell did I just watch for 2 hours?"
Yeah, that one was pretty bad.
That's what I'm saying. There's so much stuff that you get this hype behind it, and it's like, oh my god, you got it. I'm just like, really, guys, really? And I get it because sometimes it's like a trigger thing, like the clowns, like people can't deal with clowns.
Yeah.
Like I get it. Everything is like sort of experience based. Like I had a problem with this, like with me with the sharks in the ocean. Like I get it. But then there's these things that are just like, dude, what's come on.
Cannibal Holocaust. Cannibal Holocaust was the movie that everyone was like, dude, it's like one of like they literally had to hunt down the guys who made the movie to make sure like that it wasn't real, that they didn't die. And I saw this movie and I was like, meh.
That sounds like me.
I'm never going to where they filmed that movie for one, so I'm never going to get eaten by cannibals.
Yeah, that's like the most recent one, the Eli Roth one, the Green Inferno.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, this is gross.
But like pulling out his eyeballs.
Yeah, it's gross and it's disgusting, but it's not scary. It's just
and then they get the whole truck tied by stuffing the weed into that dead girl. And it's just like, what? And they're like, also like I hate like they're like eating or whatever, and they realize they're eating their friend, and then like she just cuts her throat. And I'm like, come on, man.
Come on.
Like,
yeah. That's like the Hostel movies.
Oh
This is just retarded, but they're so freaking gory. Like, holy crap, is that some gore?
I like the first one a lot better than I like the second one.
Oh yeah. Well, the first one was, I mean, I can't say it was original, but it was like, okay, we've got a concept here, and we played with it, and then it just went to crap. The one horror sequel that I thought was really fantastic was Human Centipede. Human Centipede. Like the first one was, it was okay. It was like this weird horror movie, but the second one was so fucked up because it was like real. Like it was a guy who was a fan of the original movie who was like, yeah, I'm going to go make a Human Centipede. And it was all dirty and disgusting. And like, this is horrendous. That was really good. That was a really good movie.
Wasn't the third one the one where like they get all the prisoners?
Yep.
Yeah, and it was like 200 of them all stuck together. Yeah. That was just lame. That was lame. Just kill it. It's over now. It's done. It's done. But the second one was just so nasty, and the villain dude was just so horrendously creepy. That was. I don't know if I could watch it again. It's really gross. It's really gross. But it's like real gross. It's not like clearly like, hell, this is fake. We're ripping eyeballs out. Like it was like filmed so well that it was like it was disgusting.
The barbed wire scene. That's all you guys say right there.
Oh my God. It's all horrible. And it was funny because they got the girl who played in the original movie.
Mm-hmm.
She was in the second one because the guy was like, I'm going to kidnap the actress who played this girl and make her the head of my centipede. And it's just like, whoa, it was good. It was good. They really took their concept and, you know, played with it and came up with something cool.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, Jack's got a question here. What's everyone's stance on Cloverfield? I think it's a steaming pile of shit. The second movie, Cloverfield Lane, on the other hand, is a good movie.
Well, they're different movies completely. I mean, they're completely different things. Cloverfield, you know, you have to either be a fan of that style of shooting.
I don't like it. It makes me sick.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of in the middle. I don't mind Cloverfield, but like the first 30 minutes of it is unwatchable because I don't give a shit about these characters. But once you're actually doing it and you're running through the city and the monsters coming, it's okay. I mean, it's fine. But it's not. I don't think it's great. And Cloverfield Lane is amazing.
Yeah,
but it's not a monster movie. It's. I won't spoil it, but it's not. It's not.
I can honestly say that I've seen the adult version of Cloverfield more than I've seen Cloverfield. Actually, I don't think I've ever sat down and watched Cloverfield all the way through, just because
that's horrifying, Jim.
I can't sit and watch the camera shake. It just makes me. I get sick from it, so I can't. Yeah. There's a movie, Hardcore Henry, where it's all from that guy's perspective.
Yeah,
it's like just doing all this badass shit. It's just like 30 minutes in, like I had to leave because I was like, I don't feel so good.
Well, yeah, that's like the Blair Witch. People had problems with the motion camera. You know, that's a real thing that people can't deal with that type of footage. Did you guys ever see the sequel? Not the sequel to the Blair Witch, but the remake?
Yes.
No.
That was amazingly good.
Thank you.
Amazingly good. That's like the Evil Dead remake. Like, what the fuck? How did they remake this movie and it's a good movie? Holy cow.
Still rape the girl.
Dude, yeah.
They implied it.
Yeah, so there's actually a remake of the Blair Witch.
Yes.
And it's actually a very good horror movie.
When did that come out?
Oh, I don't know, like 5-6 years ago? Something like that.
It was pretty close. It was 5 or 6 years ago. I think you're right. It's called the Blair Witch, and that's what it's all
it's not the project. It's just called Blair Witch.
Yeah.
But it had been what was funny is it had been originally filming under a title like something like The Forest or something like that. But then when it actually was released, it was like, oh, it's a Blair Witch thing. But it's a reboot or a remake or whatever.
Yeah.
That's really good. And it's not all the heavy shaky cam stuff. Mm-mm. So it's a very different feel.
I'll have to check that one out then.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Man, on a budget of $5 million, it made $45 million. That's pretty good for a movie.
That's okay. That's okay.
See, I love the Evil Dead remake. Everybody hates me for that. They're like, "Oh, you can't like the Evil Dead remake." I said, "Oh, watch me."
That surprised me, man. I was like, "Yeah, this is good,"
and I loved it.
I liked it, and also during this time, I was also picking up the Dynamite Army of Darkness stuff, and they had just done a female Ash in the Dynamite book. And so when that came out, I was like, oh, wow, is there going to be – because at the end of Evil Dead, the new one, Bruce Campbell's at the end of the credits. So it's like we're going to do an Ash and Ash thing where, like they're going to have to dual wield double chainsaws. It's going to be awesome. And then they did Ash versus Evil Dead. And like the whole time I'm watching Ash versus Evil Dead, I'm thinking like, man, I can't wait for them to go back in time to the Army of Darkness. Like, nope, don't do it. God damn it. They talk about it over and over again. And like killing his friends at the cabin, but it's just like I would have liked it if he could go back to Army.
Aren't they doing like what Bruce Campbell say? The new one's like Evil Dead Beyond or something. That they said it's gonna be like a new girl and everything and all.
Yeah, it's going back to the reboot. It's taking the reboot and doing a sequel to the reboot.
Yeah.
So
I'm like, bring back Mia, please do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a good one. Gee, what was the question again?
Did you like Cloverfield?
You like Cloverfield?
We took Cloverfield all the way to Evil Dead.
I like Cloverfield up to the part where the guy got ate. like when he was in the creature's mouth and like the camera was flying around and everything and all, and I got sicker than hell on that part. And I'm like, nope, done. And I don't think I ever finished it. I was okay after that part. I thought it was all right. But yeah, Cloverfield Lane, I like John Goodman in that movie.
John Goodman made like a career comeback in the recent years. Like he, because he was big in the 90s. I mean, he was big in the 90s. And, he's fucking Fred Flintstone, for God's sakes. Like, but he never came back for that sequel or prequel.
Prequel, wasn't it?
It was a prequel. Yeah, Viva Rock Vegas.
And that was the one with, wasn't that the one with, okay, which one had the Baldwin in it?
That was the prequel.
We're back on the Baldwins.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I knew one of them was Rick Moranis and one of them was the Baldwin.
Rick Moranis was Barney in the first one. And then I think it was Steve Baldwin that was Barney.
Yeah.
But it's instead of 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon, I mean, why don't they ever do like 1 degree of Baldwin? Like you could connect any actor or actress in Hollywood to one of the Baldwin brothers.
I'll tell you, I think my favorite John Goodman movie was Matinee.
Yes.
Did you guys ever see that? Matinee was great. It was a Cuban Missile Crisis movie where John Goodman's a movie producer and he's coming to town with a new movie, and it's it's about the kids, of course, and he's got this new process where you sit in the seats and it like buzzes you and shakes around and shit. It's based on a real dude who used to do this stuff back in the whatever it was, the 60s.
William Malone. They've done like House on Haunted Hill and Tingler, and it's based on that dude.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
I've never seen it.
Yeah, Matinee's great. It had Mant, the man who turns into an ant. Yeah.
I don't know. I'd have to say Big Lebowski, obviously. I mean,
yeah,
but he's small role. That's a small role for him.
Arachnophobia, but also that's also I guess a small role. But he's a hero. He saves them.
Yep.
I love Arachnophobia.
Spider. Ooh.
Yeah, I haven't seen that in a long time.
So, what's your favorite Spider movie? Not Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
There's a lot of spider movies. Or let's go with killer insects.
See, and I was gonna say I don't even know that I've seen a spider movie beyond Arachnophobia, like a specific spider movie. There's tons of. I mean, there's them obviously. Them honestly, unfortunately, doesn't really hold up in watching it again. Which is kind of a shame. But there was all kinds of giant ant movies in the 80s. That used to play like, it's again, it was Halloween stuff. So it's like, we're going to play this, whatever, Empire of the Ants. And it's, eating radioactive food and getting big and stuff. So I remember those things for sure.
I like to say Eight-Legged Freaks. I really like Eight-Legged Freaks.
I haven't seen that yet.
That's a pretty good spider movie. Well, insect movie. Eight-Legged Freaks is. You ever see Skeeter? What about the giant mosquitoes?
Yep. Ticks. Remember ticks?
Giant mosquitoes.
Yeah, ticks. I mentioned ticks earlier because Seth Green's in that movie. Also,
when you talk about, I don't remember Seth Green being in that.
Seth Green is in that movie, but also Carlton from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is in that movie.
Oh my gosh!
And it gets better. What's his name? Not Ron Howard, the other guy, Clint Howard. Clint Howard is in the movie.
I just remember Amy Dolan's being in it. Like it's what's his name's daughter from the Monkees.
Yeah. Dave Jones.
Movie. Yeah.
Oh, geez. I searched ticks and I get this stupid bug. That's the the movie. Yeah, it's got Seth Green.
I mean, I have a memory of a bug part from a movie, The Abominable Dr. Phibes, where they put the grasshoppers on her face and it eats her face. I remember that.
I still try to remember that one. That one. There was a spider movie with William Shatner.
Spiders.
Is it just spiders? Where like he like throws the girl. He's like trying to save the little girl, and he throws her like on the bed, like from 50 feet away.
It's either spiders or tarantula.
Okay, I'm gonna throw in a movie out there. I want to see if you guys know what this is. It's Dirk Benedict. Okay.
Benedict.
And the movie is called
Oh, yep.
Snake Man.
where he turns into a snake.
Yeah.
Freak my ass out.
I met Dirk Benedict, and I got his autograph. And the longer he kept talking to me while he was signing his name, the more he wrote on the picture. It's a picture of Dirk Benedict, but most of the picture is literally him just talking and then signing. Like it was almost like completely full. Like he just, well, I mean, no one was in line to see Dirk Benedict. Like, I mean, you know, Battlestar Galactica and the A-Team, but no one was there to see Dirk Benedict. They're all there to see what's his name? Fucking it was either Jason Momoa or George Perez. It's one of those guys. George Perez is awesome, though.
Who was the other guy that played on Battlestar Galactica with him? I always forget his name.
Richard Hatch.
Richard Hatch. We met him. He was that way. Richard Hatch was that way. He would like sit and talk your leg off. He was like really cool in person.
I have a really weird Richard Hatch story. It's really strange.
Uh-oh.
So we were at WonderCon. It was my first year ever at WonderCon, and he was there. So on I think it was day 2, we're all the vendors are getting there early. You know, we're all trying to get in, and he was a guest. You know, he was like a legitimate guest, obviously, on the show. While we had like just vendor badges, and he had, you know, he was a guest. So we're all trying to get in, and the guy who's letting people in won't let him in. He's like, "Dude, I'm a guest. I'm Richard. I'm I'm one of your. I don't have a badge because I'm a guest. I need to get into my booth." And the guy's like, "I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, you have to have a badge to get in." And I was sitting there like, "That's fucking Apollo, dude. What are you talking about? Let him into the thing." He's like, "I can't. He doesn't have a badge." So I said, "Okay, look." And I took my badge off and I gave it to him. And I was like, "You take my vendor badge and you go in and do what you want, because my friend is coming and he's got extra badges and he'll just bring me an extra badge later. And there's no problem. So go take a badge and go do your thing." And right in front of this dumb security guard, I just gave some random dude a badge. But because now Richard Hatch had a badge, he let him straight in the door. So
my God.
Whatever. And so I went and got the badge later back from him, but I was like, "Oh my God, dude, come on." So yeah, there's my one Richard Hatch story.
So Scott asked favorite vampire movie.
Oh, hands down. I already got this one. Lost Boys.
Yeah, that's good.
See, now I was gonna say The Lost Boys.
Oh hell!
From Dusk Till Dawn.
That's okay.
Because From Dusk Till Dawn is you could literally not know anything. Like, don't even tell me the title of the movie. Don't tell me the plot of the movie or the synopsis of it. Just let me sit and watch it. And literally, like, the first hour of the movie, you're just thinking, "Oh, it's just about these guys. You're just trying to get to Mexico, and then hook up with these other guys."
Becomes the thing, yeah.
It's like an hour and a half into the movie, then all of a sudden, that's when everything goes to shit. I mean, and there's so many good, like Sex Machine, Tom Savini. He's got the wiener gun, and Greg Nicotero, who mastered special effects and makeup, is in it, and like he's holding a beer, and then Savini just takes a whip and then whips the beer out of his hand, and like half the beer goes like over Savini's shoulder, and he's just like, "Yeah, whatever, man."
I'm gonna swing this back to One Degree of the Baldwins. Vampires with with Busey.
James Woods.
Or no, James Woods. James Woods. Yeah, James Woods. Yeah.
And,
I like that one a lot. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
And there's vampire movies that I like. There's some conceptual stuff. Like Wes Craven did a Dracula movie where Dracula ended up being Judas, and I was like, "That's fucking brilliant." Tying in all the silver and everything. I was like, that's a cool. The movie was not great, but conceptually, what he wanted to do with it was pretty. Because it had like 7 of 9 in it. I mean, it was a terrible cast. It was nonsense. But yeah, Lost Boys for sure. I have a very newfound love of Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Yeah,
because not because it's good, but because it's really terrible. But because I believe that this movie was not filmed on purpose to be a legitimate movie. Like, it was promoted as it's Dracula and it's this serious. No, this movie is batshit from start to finish. Nothing is serious. Nothing is real. You have Anthony Hopkins going off like a madman. You've got stupid Keanu Reeves and his dumb accent. You have Winona Ryder. I mean, this can't be serious. You know, you can't be taken seriously. So I really like it just from the pure camp of it. And there's some good stuff like the dude who plays Dracula. I can never remember his name.
Oh,
Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman. He's the best thing in the movie. He's fine. But the whole thing is just no. What is this? No.
The one I can think of too, real quick, and Tom reminded me of this for some reason when he said that, because I guess it's the parody of it.
Yeah.
Dracula Dead and Loving It. Mel Brooks.
I hate that movie. I hate it so much.
I think he's gonna say that.
Oh my god! I just watched it like last year sometime because I was like, oh yeah, I remember seeing this, but I don't remember seeing it, so I just watched it, and I was like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's so bad. Mel Brooks is very kind of hit and miss for me. That was a big
miss. That was bad.
And going back to the Bram Stoker's Dracula movie, if you look today, if like say you're like, oh, I want to watch a vampire movie, and you just look at the cast for that movie, think, wow, John Wick's in this movie. Holy shit, Gary Oldman, fucking, oh, this movie's gonna be awesome. Anthony Hopkins, like fucking Odin from the Thor movies is in this. Oh, this is gonna be great. No, it's not. It's
not.
It's fucking
not.
Like Keanu Reeves comes in as the British guy, and you're just like, what the fuck?
No, it wasn't John Wick that was in that movie. It was Bill that was in that movie. Okay, so
it was Johnny in that movie.
That was his most popular role, because it came out 92. So he just got done doing Bogus Journey, and then they're like, "You want to read a Dracula movie?" And he's like, "Sure." Like, you got to do an English accent. He's like, "Okay."
He came out and said that part of his problem was that he had done so much that he was just exhausted. He just had nothing to give to the role. He said that in a couple of interviews, and I'm like, yeah, we know.
We can tell.
We know, but it's fine, man. It's fine. Trust me, it's fine. Just if you're gonna watch it, just watch it and just put a smile on. Just put a smile on and enjoy it.
Shut your mind off and just enjoy.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of there's one of the Hammer films that I really enjoy.
Oh, all the Hammer horrors. Yeah,
it's got Peter Cushing in it.
But that's all of them, dude. He's in all of them.
That's all of them.
Yeah. There's a specific one. I'm just trying to think of which one. I don't know. Star Wars. That's it. No.
The Rugged. What was we talking about? That? Yeah, the Rugged. You guys ever seen like the Rugged? What's his name? Rugged Howard.
Yeah.
How you say his name?
Rutger Hauer. Yeah.
Played the Hitcher. Yeah. Have you ever seen?
I haven't seen the Hitcher. No.
Hitcher.
Yeah, he's got a Dracula movie out, and it's bad. Woo! It's terrible, but I watch it. It's worse than Dracula.
Yeah, vampires, they're fine, but there's so much. Like, it's so just inundated with vampire crap.
Well,
so much fucking. Oh god.
It was like zombies at the time. It's like zombies now. Like zombies are just
What's that?
like
What's your favorite
everywhere.
zombie?
Oh. Okay. Okay.
What? I didn't hear what that. What'd she say?
She goes, "What's your favorite zombie movie?"
Oh God. The future upcoming soon to be released Princesses versus Zombies.
That's what I was looking for right there. I was gonna say the same thing.
No, there's a couple of zombie movies I like, but most of them I just can't do. I like the Dawn of the Dead remake where they're in the mall. Like, that one's okay. And I liked World War Z because it was a different type of zombie, because they were like movers, like they're running around and like swarming up the wall and stuff. I was like, that's cool visual.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then I did see Train to Busan earlier.
I haven't either.
It's good. It's really freaking long. So be prepared, because it's long, and it's kind of like, okay, is this scene still going? Like, let's move on to the next thing. But it is good. It's a good. It's good from a story standpoint with the guy and his daughter. It works. It's a strong, people story among the zombies. So the Train to Busan was pretty good. I'd
have to say probably my it's a tie. And they actually came out in the same year, ironically enough. Return of the Living Dead.
Hey.
Day of the Dead.
Oh yeah.
But Return of the Living Dead, just because, one, the soundtrack's badass, there's running zombies in Return of the Living Dead, which predates the 28 Days Later, where everyone's like, 28 Days Later, introduce the running zombie. It's like, Return of the Living Dead did it
Who didn't?
way before, like 20 years before that came out, that movie. And Day of the Dead, because that was actually the first Romero zombie movie that I saw. I saw Day of the Dead first and fell in love with it. And then I saw Dawn of the Dead, the original Day of the Dead. And so it would be three, is like 1A, 1B, 1C. It's definitely Return of the Living Dead, Day of the Dead, Dawn of the Dead. And the remake's actually pretty good too. I actually did enjoy the remake because it's got the guy who got fucked by Zed in Pulp Fiction in it.
Yeah.
And,
It's actually, and it was directed by Tom Savini. You know that, right?
yeah, no, that's Not the Living Dead.
Oh, not
Yeah, the mall was Snyder.
Yeah, the
Zack
mall was
Snyder.
Yeah,
Which is weird because I have to give Zack Snyder credit for something.
Yeah, where's the Snyder cut of Dawn of the Dead?
Yeah, I'll take that. give me some more of that. I'll take some more of that.
And also, it has a for those of you who are a sitcom fan of sitcoms today, like shows like Modern Family, it's got a Phil Dunphy as a dickhead.
Yep.
Yep. Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
He also, so I was watching Evolution. He's in Evolution.
Yes.
Also, I love the fact of you can destroy an alien just by using something stupid like Head and Shoulders shampoo.
Yep.
Like, what's its weakness? Well, I got this Head and Shoulders here. Let's try that. Okay.
Let's just wash it.
I
It'll be
need
fine.
some ice cream. What flavor do you want? I don't care. It's for my.
It's for my ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, Orlando Jones post MTV.
Yep. Okay. Sif, Tom might know this one. I know Jim will probably know it. Like I agree with you totally, Jim. I'm Night of the Living Dead, Day of the Dead, the old Dawn of the Dead, and the new Dawn of the Dead. Do you remember? And Return of the Living Dead, of course, I love that one. Do you remember Return of the Living Dead Part 3?
Yes, I do. It's a very romantic movie.
Tom?
I know that they exist. I just
Okay.
zombies were never a thing for me, so I never went into them.
This story, really quick, I'll make it short, is basically this guy falls in love with a girl. Well, here is Mindy Clark. Okay, if you know who Mindy Clark is, she played like on CSI and everything and all for a while.
Actually, that might be the first boobs I saw in a movie.
Yeah, I think it was mine too. Basically, what happens is her father works for this facility that's got all this stuff from the other, the zombie movies and stuff and all. So like they're out.
Pause. Tom, in the Return of the Living Dead series, the way the zombies come about is they're in army issued barrels.
Yes. No, yeah, I know. Yeah, I got it. Yep, okay. I'm with you.
So like they're out and like they're on a motorcycle and she's like making out with him on the motorcycle and he crashes the motorcycle and throws her off the motorcycle and breaks her neck. Okay. So he decides he gets the bright idea. He's going to take her back and reanimate her into a zombie. Okay. Because now they're controlling them and they know how to do the whole manipulating the brain thing and all. So they bring her back and she ends up going insane. Well, she's like, talks like everybody else and stuff, but she ends up going insane. So by the time this movie's over with, okay, she's like topless. She's got nipple rings. She's got like knives shoved through her hands and stuff and all. And because if she does instead of eating brains, it takes the pain away.
Yeah.
So she's like putting stuff through her eyes and like piercings, and she's like this. Just look it up. She's this badass looking girl.
Oh, dude, it's a
superhero.
It's so awesome. And then like
bad.
When I first met Tim Vigil, like out of all the things I could have gotten Tim Vigil to sketch, I was like, can you sketch that chick from Return of the Living Dead Part 3?
Oh,
it's awesome.
It's crazy and it's insane. And my sick little mind just remembers that when I was younger. It's another one I shouldn't have watched when I was younger.
And it's only there's only like 2 zombies in the whole movie.
Yeah, but she takes like this guy and she like bends him over and like grabs his head and like pulls his head and like rips his head off, but his spine's still attached. So like the guy's walking on all fours and his head's still attached on his spine.
Yeah.
He's like,
yeah.
And he's like a zombie, like on all fours with the spine still like out of his body with the head up here going.
You guys seen Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse?
No, I need to see that.
Yes, I have. I saw that with my ex-girlfriend, and there was a scene in that movie where I think it was like a cop zombie where she showed her boobs, and my girlfriend looks at me and goes, "This is why you want to watch this movie, isn't it?" And I was like, "I didn't know this scene was in this movie."
Well, and then there's another scene later where they're trying to escape from the zombies, and oh my god, the guy, they're trying to climb out a bathroom window, and they have to jump down on a trampoline and then jump over a fence, and
geez.
so they're all doing it, and then the one that's left, the zombies come through, and for whatever reason the zombie's got no pants on, and she ends up grabbing his dick, like, because she's falling, right? And she grabs his dick, and it just keeps stretching as you're pulling it. It's so bad, and then she finally falls off and hits the thing and whatever. It's a pretty good goofball zombie movie.
Yeah, it's one of those funny zombie movies. They did
totally
one that was
forgot about
super
that's when I
bad.
screamed out. I forgot about it until you said something. I was like, "Oh, I remember seeing the previews of that."
Which one?
That Scout, the zombie, the one you just talked about.
There's one that they did that was like really bad. I mean, like, it was fucking bad. It was like a Twilight. Twilight came out, and they're like, we could do the same thing with zombies.
Oh yeah, is that the one where the zombies come back when they fall in love?
Yes.
Yeah, Warm Bodies.
I fucking hated that movie.
I didn't go anywhere near it. I saw the trailers and I was like, this is just sparkly zombies. I'm out.
Yeah, I watched that movie when I was in the Navy. Like, in the Navy, you know, like I had when you're on subs, sometimes you get movies before they come out to the general public because you're in the military and all that. So I was so excited. I was like, cool, man, a zombie movie is gonna be awesome. I watched it. I'm like, this is the worst fucking movie I've ever seen. It's so fucking bad. Oh.
No comment from me. Go ahead. I'm good.
Yeah, no, I knew that was not going to be a for me movie. Yeah. I'm over here, you know, championing Jason in space because they went outside the box. But
yeah, but
that's
Jason in space.
No, I can't I can't do Warm Bodies.
No.
I would actually hold on. I gotta know.
Oh no.
I just want to know. Okay, hold on. Wait for it. It made $117 million in the box office.
Oh, it was a hit, dude.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it was like a teeny. Well, it was like
because it was Twilight time. So all of the girls that were watching Twilight were like, "Well, yeah, let's watch sparkly zombies."
Oh my god! 35 million
zombies.
$115 million.
But it didn't make enough to get a sequel.
Yay!
Thank God.
So, you know, we can thank our lucky stars for that.
And it's got the guy who played fucking Beast in the X-Men movies, and he played Tolkien in the shitty ass Tolkien. I was so pissed about that Tolkien movie. Oh yeah, you want to watch a movie about the guy who wrote Lord of the Rings and he's in World War I? Like, that's gonna be badass. He's probably got some badass stories from the battlefield. Nope.
I watched it. I do like that actor though. I do. It's like, seriously, I do.
He's a decent actor, yeah. I liked him.
He was in Mad Max. Well, the Fury Road.
Yeah, he wasn't he the what you call it?
Yeah.
The blood bag.
Yep.
Body bag. Something. It's
a lovely day.
Yeah. And they're like taking the spray paint. They're like, yeah. And they're basically like anyone in Australia today.
The Mad Max movie that wasn't a Mad Max movie. Sorry, but
yeah, that's got what's her name in it, Charlize Theron.
Yeah,
I didn't understand that movie. That was just a 2-hour chase.
Yeah,
so it was just like, hey, we're all going to go this way. Halfway through, it's like, well, let's go back the other way.
I'm gonna have my bass player hook up to my car, and he's gonna be on a bungee cord and playing bass the whole time while I'm driving because I don't have a radio with a cassette player.
My cassette player broke.
That's fuck. Like,
I don't know, man.
My car would have gone so much faster. It didn't have the weight.
I have so many questions about that movie. Like, how was it so successful? How was it so loved? Because I was lost. I was like completely lost.
I do that with a lot of movies nowadays.
Mel Gibson's rolling in his grave. I mean, goddamn.
Hey.
Hey, if it wasn't for Lethal Weapon 2, I wouldn't know there'd be a bomb behind my toilet, but now I check every time.
Damn straight.
Love the Lethal Weapon movies, Mad Max movies, greatest movies of all time. With Mel Gibson. Has he ever been in any horror movies? Probably not.
He's in a kind of one.
He's in a lot of thriller stuff, but not like
Signs.
Yeah, but that's not horror.
No.
In genre films, but he's not in like,
That's
films.
I told David the story. That's my favorite audience moment in a movie theater. It's like, like
the alien, when the alien comes out.
Yep.
Yes.
And everybody's like, yeah.
So there's a lady like a few rows in front of us, and it showed the alien, and she goes, "It's gonna get us all," and she runs out of the theater. It was great. I'd never seen at that time, like at that moment, like it's like you'd seen those trailers for all these horror movies, like it shows like the green camera, like showing the audience reaction to scenes, but you never see a woman scream and say it's going to get us all and then run out of the theater. It was awesome. I was like, this movie's great.
That's great.
Yeah, Signs was good. I like Signs.
We got a bunch of empty. We got a bunch of glasses of water that the little girl's not going to drink. It's like, okay, well, I guess we'll use that.
I'm glad to hear that too, because like I was a huge fan of Signs. I went and saw it in the theater. I liked it.
Yeah, I liked Shyamalan when he was doing weird twists.
Yeah,
like even The Village. Like I didn't know. I could never have told you the twist of The Village. Like what the fuck?
Yeah, it's modern times.
I'm like, what?
So we've all seen The Village, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Like I won't give away the whole spoiler, but my loving sister, went with me to see it. And the part where they're working on the right, it's close to the beginning where they're working on we raised the damn plants.
Yep.
Yeah.
House. Yeah. She just turned and looked at me. She goes, and she told me the ending. She's like, because look at the house. And I'm like, oh, that's not the ending. And she's like, look at it.
I'll lay money on it.
She goes, I'll lay money on it. And it came down. I was like, you suck. And but I guessed the ending to Sixth Sense when he was sitting on the bench. I guessed it just like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, I had that one spoiled for me. Somebody told me that's what it was. No, they didn't like tell me exactly, but it had been years because I didn't watch it, and people were just talking about it, and it was like, oh yeah, he's dead, and I was like, what do you mean he's dead? They're like, Sixth Sense, the whole movie, he's fucking dead. Spoiler alert again. And so, but what was interesting though is then when you know that he's dead and you watch it back, it's a really interesting watch because you're like, how the fuck does he not know he's dead? And so it still is an interesting movie, even when you know what it is.
Yeah.
But then when he made Shape of Water, I'm sitting there waiting for the twist. Like I'm trying to figure out, like, dude, what is happening? Where is the twist? And then
the twist is she's hooking up with the guy, the alien guy.
That's it. We're done. That's the end of it. I was like, oh my God. And then he came back with The Happening, which I was like, that's, I was like, this is fine, but this is not. I want the twist, dude. Like, it's like he was chased away from doing those weird twist movies, and I was like, no, that's the only reason I'm here. Yeah. So I don't want any of your movies anymore. I'm sorry.
See, after I saw the Village, I was like, is this what Amish people are like? Like, they just have no idea. Like, what?
I don't know.
Like, do you think like there's like an Amish community out there that's just never been exposed?
Man, I forgot all about The Happening. Until you just brought that up.
Trish asked the question. So, easy question: what horror franchise is your favorite?
Oh, it's Halloween.
Really? I thought you were going to say like Friday the 13th.
No, it's Halloween. It's Halloween easy. Yeah.
That's a lot of movies. That is a lot of movies.
It's a lot. It's not just a lot of movies. Halloween is choose your own adventure movies. Because of the way that it's been rebooted multiple times, it's like you can go 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, or you can go 1, 2, H2O, Resurrection, or you can go 1 and then the new one from last year, or you can go Rob Zombie reboots, which are crap. Or
you can go just three,
or you can just do 3 on its own. Yeah. So yeah, it's a
3.
weird choose your own adventure series of films. It's Halloween easy. As far as like if I had to watch like The Howling, or because like the Howling franchise is garbage, but The Howling number 1 is amazing. So like I would probably like put that over Halloween as far as like what I like more, but as far as like I have to pick a franchise to watch, it's Halloween.
I shot him 6 times.
Was that the boogeyman?
Donald Pleasance alone, man, is so good.
Yeah.
I love how when his response to how many more Halloween movies are you going to make? I stop at 42.
Yeah.
he probably would have kept doing them. He probably would have been H2O. He would have been in all of them, all of the ones to now.
Yeah.
What about you,
Donald
Dave?
Pleasance, man? It's great.
I actually surprised a lot of people this because me and Christy's like we battle about this all the time, and I do like the Friday the 13th franchise. I like it. I think they're fun. They're slasher movies. My favorite's Nightmare on Elm Street. I'm sorry. They could be the crappiest things. Part 6, Freddy's Dead.
Yeah.
Is the worst damn.
3D glasses. They need to
it is so bad. I will sit and laugh my ass off at it because it's so bad.
That's the thing with the Freddy movies is that if you understand that they're just schlock, and they're there for comedy. I mean, they're not there for anything else other than for a laugh. Then you kind of get what the franchise is. But it was so just all over the place. It's hard. It's a hard thing to watch.
I think the first one to this day is still hard.
First one's great.
Yeah. The rest of them, the third one, I like the third one a lot. Second one, third one, I really like. It's one of my favorites, just because Wes Craven came back to produce it, and they brought back Nancy, and they decided they're going to try to kick Freddy's ass finally.
Yep.
And after that, of course, they went downhill. I still like 4 and 5. I'm weird. 6 was terrible. I saw it in the theater, and I was like, "What the hell is this?" They had Tom Arnold, and Johnny Depp came back for 6. Like he actually had a small part in it.
This is your life.
I like the first one, and I like the last one. Like it was a cool bookend thing. You know,
the New Nightmare,
Final Nightmare or something, right?
Wes Craven's New Nightmare.
Yeah. So I just watching 1 to 7, I guess 1 and 7 is like that's just nice. That's a nice bookend of things. So I like
7 was just it was a new take. That's what they did. And like they decided to make him like a fairy tale, and like, oh well, if we think hard enough, Freddy will come to real out of this script, because it was Robert Englund, it was Wes Craven, it was Henry Langenkamp that actually starred in it, and
Bob Shelley.
Yeah. So Nightmare.
Yeah, that's you gotta look. I almost want to say Nightmare on Elm Street because I love all those movies for a lot of reasons. I mean, you got Dokken, one of the greatest hair metal bands of all time. Fight me on it. George Lynch on guitar, Don Dokken on vocals. I mean, it's the greatest duo of all time. And like the badass music video where at the end of the music video, Freddy wakes up and goes, "What a nightmare!" Like he just had a dream about a hair metal band, and then sees from Dream Warriors, and then that's a nightmare. Like, okay, I mean, Roseanne and Tom Arnold are in part 6. Breckin Meyer, who you may know, I mentioned it earlier, Robot Chicken.
Yes, and you remember who played his father?
No, I don't. Actually, no, I don't. Who played his father?
Alice Cooper.
No, oh yeah, you're right. Yeah. So, and also that's the other thing I love about Alice Cooper. Alice Cooper's so badass. Like this dude,
love Alice Cooper.
He's killed himself so many times in real life on stage, and he's the father of Freddy Krueger, and he also was involved with Friday the 13th.
Did you ever see his live show?
Oh yeah, I've seen.
His live shows are amazing.
Yeah,
even to this day.
He was the opener for Motley Crue during their farewell tour, and I was like, he should have been the closer because that Motley Crue sucked so bad, and they were the suckiest suck to ever suck. But as far as franchise, my favorite franchise, oh, that is a damn it. I can't say Return of the Living Dead because like the first three, the 1 and 3 are great. 2's a piece of shit, and the other 2 that came out years after 3 are awful. Race to the Grave and Necropolis.
Yeah.
And they were like filmed in another country. It was,
no.
Shit, man. The Evil Dead franchise.
I knew you were going to say it.
Oh, yeah.
I knew it. Like that was so easy for me. Like I know what Jim's going to say.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. I mean, Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness, and then you get Ash versus Evil Dead. Hell, I mean, even My Name is Bruce.
Yeah.
Great movie.
Love that movie.
Bruce Campbell is one of the greatest actors of all time. The 20th century greatest actor. He's also in a lot of other shitty horror movies.
Spider-Man 1 and 2.
He's also in 3.
Yeah, he's in all 3.
He's
in everything Sam Raimi does.
Yep.
Yeah, true.
Well, he wasn't in Oz. I don't think he was in Oz.
In Oz?
No.
Sam Raimi did an Oz movie.
Yeah. The
with James Franco.
Yeah,
and
I forgot that was Raimi.
Wow. Raimi. I forgot about that. Ooh.
That's kind of shocking now. It's like, wow, you made a really piece of shit there, dude.
He's doing Doctor Strange. He's doing Doctor Strange, so I'm really hoping Bruce Campbell's in Doctor Strange.
That's what I was going to say. You think he'll be in it?
Yeah.
I hope so. I hope he comes back. Oh, dude, how cool would it be if Bruce Campbell was the villain in Doctor Strange 2?
Oh, yes.
What if he was Mephisto?
Oh, damn.
Oh, man.
That happened.
Oh, my God.
That's the only Marvel movie that I give 2 shits about. Is I want more Doctor Strange, especially when I started to hear that they're going to open it up with like all the horror characters and stuff. So,
Frightmare, Mephisto. They already did Dormammu, and I mean
they messed up Dormammu. I'm sorry. I'm gonna get probably slapped for it.
Scott, Howling 1 is the best werewolf movie ever. Number 2 is, I mean, kind of watchable. 3 is terrible, but you forgot 4, 5, 6, 7, and Reborn.
Which one was the marsupial one? You remember that?
I believe that was 5. Was the marsupials?
I watched that and I was like, "What the hell?"
That might have been 3, actually. I think 3 might have been the marsupials. 4 was the one that was almost based really on the book because the book is very different from the original movie.
Oh.
And then there was 5, and then there was 6, and this is crap. And then there was Reborn, which is I can't remember who got the rights, and they Katzenberg bought the rights and did a shitty movie that was kind of like The Howling combined with Harry Potter. It's like this is garbage.
How was that released?
Oh yeah, it went straight to video. It was bad. It did have kind of a cool werewolf effect, but the movie was really bad. What's funny is here I got an interesting Howling story for you. So I was talking because I was trying to pitch to do Howling comics. And
dude.
I found Gary Brantner, who wrote the original book, on Facebook. And we happened to both live in California. Like he was in Burbank and I was like 10 minutes from him. So I was like, dude, I have to take you to lunch. And he was like, yeah, of course. Let's go. I was like, what the fuck is happening right now? And so I took Gary Brantner to lunch at a Mexican place and we talked for hours about The Howling. And he told me, I don't own the rights. I haven't owned the rights since the 80s because he sold them to the movies.
What?
Right.
Oh.
And so the way that the contract was written was that as long as they made a movie within a certain amount of time, the rights would stay with whoever owned them. And so the current owner was Jeffrey Katzenberg, and Jeffrey Katzenberg had about 8 months to get his movie out or the rights would revert back to Gary. And so Gary was like, yeah, here's his contact. You can contact him because I would have to talk to Katzenberg in order to get the rights to make Howling comics. And so I contacted Gary Katzenberg and I was like, so I want to make Howling comics. I talked to Gary Brantner. This is kind of basically what I want to do. I'd love to talk to you about how we could do this. And he got back to me and he was a dick. Big surprise. He was like, oh yeah, you can't do anything without my approval. I'm like, yeah, that's why I'm asking you, dude.
That's
I'm
why
like,
I'm
literally
asking,
like right
Dick.
here saying, I understand that you have it. Like I've read your contract. Gary gave me a copy of the contract too. He's like, yeah,
damn.
if you can, because my wife was a lawyer at the time, we were going to like try and break the contract. And so she was like, no, this is not brokeable. This is not breaking. This is forever. And so I was like, yeah, dude, I get it. I mean, I want to talk to you about making these things. I'm very serious about doing it. How do we do this? And what's happening? He's like, well, I have to make this movie. And I was like, cause I want to make comics based, like going back to the original movie and moving forward. Like, I don't want to worry about the franchise. Like, I want to focus on the beginning and going forward. And he was like, well, we'd probably have to do it for the new movie that's coming out because this is what we're doing. And I'm like, I don't want to make comics of this movie. And he was like, yeah, literally, this is what he said. He said, look, I know this is going to be a terrible movie, but we have to put it out or I lose my rights. So, right.
Oh man.
And so I was like, yeah, I mean, I get it. That's fine. He's like, so the movie came out and I saw it and I was like, okay, whatever. And so he was like, so tell me what you really thought? And I was like, this is terrible, man. And he was like, yeah, I know, but we're making another one. And I was like, oh God, help me.
Oh God.
And so he says, do you want to read the script? And I said, of course I want to read the script. And he says, okay. So he sends me the script. No NDA, no nothing. He just sends me the script. Right. So I'm sitting here reading the script and it's basically, there's no NDA. So I can just do whatever the fuck I want. Basically it's a prequel, like a hyper prequel, right? It's like medieval days and the werewolves are happening. And it's kind of this nonsensical story. It's like every other chapter of the franchise where it has nothing to do with anything. It's just a werewolf movie. Right. And so I read the script and I came back to him and I said, so look, dude, I figured out why the Howling franchise sucks while Freddy and Jason and Michael Myers keep going. And I figured it out and I'm going to give it to you and maybe we can make this work. And I found a way for you to make this work. And I think the fans would freak out about it. So all of these franchises that are being successful, Hellraiser and everything, they have the characters coming back. It's Freddy, it's Michael, it's related characters in some ways coming back and creating a chain of events, for these characters. The Howling doesn't have that. It's always just another werewolf movie. Yeah. Here's how you fix your problem. And you can make your movie exactly as you made it, and you change one thing at the end, and it gives you a launching point to go forward from it. And when the fans see it, if they ever see it, they'll be like, oh shit, they did something, and maybe now this is going to come of it. So in the original franchise, or in the original movie, and in the original book, and all that, you have the main werewolf, Eddie Quist, and the Quist family of werewolves, right? So I said, okay, dude, so there's a scene at the end of the script where this girl is basically drifting down a river going past this castle, because again, it's medieval times. And I said, here's how you do this. You get her drifting past the castle, and as she drifts off, you pan back to the castle, right? And you put a nameplate on the castle that says Quist. That's it.
Boom.
You've immediately connected it to what the people know and want, because no one's giving it to them, but this is what they want. And that gives you a leapfrog to say, okay, we're now going to make movies about the Quists that will, take us forward to wherever you want to go. He says, that's brilliant. And I said, I know, man, this is what I do. I'm a writer. And he was like, yeah, that's really smart, but I can't do it. And I said, what do you mean you can't do it? He says, I can't do it because MGM, it gets weird. MGM owns the original movie, right? And I said, yeah, but you own the books, like everything about the books. There's 3 of them. You own the books. The Quists are in the book. So to hell with MGM, you're going to write this based on what's in the book, not what's in the movie, because they're different entities. And he said, yeah, but if MGM decided to sue me because of that, it could hold me up in court and we might not be able to make the movie in time and I would lose the rights. And he would rather just make a shitty movie and keep the rights than try and make something that makes any sense.
Yeah.
That movie never even existed. It never happened. Gary died about a year later. So the rights could never revert back. And now Studio Canal owns the rights. And there is rumor of a Netflix type television series for it. And to really rub the salt in the wound, a crappy comic book company got the rights to do Howling comics. They did a mini series called Revenge of the Werewolf Queen or something. It was awful. it was just, I'm so sad. It was so awful. And that company flaked, and there was no more. They did a poor job. The company ended up being a flaky company, and now there's basically nothing. And Studio Canal wants to make a TV show out of it. So that's where we are. There's like a 20-minute howling thing for you. But that's
Damn.
there it is. And I still have the script too. It's still in my email.
See, like, I find it very interesting. Like, you're not the first person to tell me that they've reached out to, people to make a comic book based on a movie. Because I also tried to do that with Critters, and that failed miserably. Warner Brothers is never going to let me make a Critters comic book, especially after they see the stuff I've done since I've contacted them.
Yes.
But also, I think the only person I've ever seen it work for was Sean Gavarine, who wrote the Puppet Master, Puppet Master comic books. He was like, yeah, dude, like, I reached out to Full Moon. They said, yeah, go for it. And originally the Puppet Master comics came out through, I mean, obviously they did stuff in the 90s.
Yeah.
They did Puppet Master in the 90s, but like, it'd been like 20 years since they'd done anything. So at the time he was working at Action Lab Danger Zone, and they came out with the first wave of Puppet Master books. And then Full Moon was finally like, well, we're Full Moon. We can have our own comic publisher.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's still working with them. It's pretty awesome, but it's like,
oh, nice.
But it's like, I was like, cause actually he was the reason why that inspired me to do Critters. Cause I was talking to him. He's like, dude, why don't you hit the guy up and see if you can make the comic? And like, yeah, Critters is never going to be a comic for Totally Rad, unfortunately.
Well, anything owned by Warner Brothers, that falls under the DC.
Yeah, it's locked.
It's never going to happen. Odds are, yeah. You got to go back to, like, you got to go deep cuts, like we talked about. You got to go find whoever owns the rights to, like, the Mutilator and do that kind of crap.
Yeah.
Or who owns Night of the Demons?
Oh.
I don't know. You got to find out.
Isn't it MGM?
Damn it. Maybe it is.
Well, but somebody owns it, but that's not the point. The point is not that somebody owns it. It's that, what are they doing with it? Are they willing to license it? Anything that's owned by Warner Brothers, you'll never get because they own DC Comics. Right. So it just won't happen. But if it's something outside of the realm of DC or Marvel, Disney and that kind of stuff, then it could just be sitting around rotting. And if you were to come up and say, look, we'll do this and split profits or whatever, then anything's possible at that point.
And like, it's what's really crazy about like movie rights is like Dynamite owns the Army of Darkness comic book rights.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They don't own Evil Dead 2 because somehow Scapegoat put out Evil Dead 2 comics.
Yeah, they did the Howling too.
They're the ones who did the Howling.
Oh,
that's why there haven't been any Evil Dead. Wow, man, because I'm not gonna lie, that the first Evil Dead 2 story that they did. The comic, I thought it was great. It was a great story where he reanimated his hand that was cut off, and he has no idea what happened since the time he cut his hand off. That's really cool. So yeah, they're no longer around.
No, they're still around, but they ended up being a flaky company.
Oh man, but yeah, I was like really surprised. Like, how'd they get the rights to Evil Dead 2?
How many? Was there like 3 books? Were there like 3 Evil Dead 2 books they brought out? Because I think I have all 3 of them.
There was one. It was like Cradle the Damned, and there's a Cthulhu one, and then there was like a bunch of one shots. Like there's one about Hitler, and he tattoos all the Necronomicon pages on his body. That's how he comes back to life.
Well, there's all kinds of weird stuff with rights because, like, for example, the Reanimator rights were in question for a while. Yeah. Somebody was trying to do Reanimator comics. And Devil's Due was going to do it, and then it was like, no, you don't. We own the rights. We're going to do it over here, and it was like really weird. There's a lot of really weird stuff in there, and just like the Howling, MGM owns the movie, but the book rights are owned by somebody else. So it's like,
Feely got in trouble with that when he did Hack Slash. Hack Slash the first series was like issue 14, 15, and 16, where it was Reanimator, and because he looked like, if it was the Reanimator the book, he would have been fine, but because they based the Reanimator look off the movie, that's where they got in trouble.
Yep.
Which I thought was really interesting.
Yeah.
And then now Dynamite owns the Reanimator.
Yeah.
Well, the movie,
Tim Seeley and them, didn't they get in trouble for using Chucky too once or something, like Universal?
It did come out through Devil's Due. Yeah, Chucky came out through. They did a Devil's Due Chucky thing. I don't know what the deal with that was. I know Brian Pulido wrote a Chucky story as well. I don't know if that was Devil's Due. Was that Devil's Due? Or it could have been I don't think it was.
There-
I don't know.
No, I think that was because Chaos did some of that stuff
Yeah,
for a
That's
while. They did a few, like they did a Halloween miniseries and all kinds of stuff.
yeah.
So Chaos was doing some of that for a little while, not for a long time.
Right. Yeah, and like they did a shit, what did they do? They did a Child's Play comic book in the 90s that came out
Yeah.
through Innovation.
Yeah.
I think it was Innovation. And Innovation also did the Nightmare on Elm Street comic book in the 90s.
Yep.
That's
Which
right.
I find interesting that Marvel was the first Nightmare on Elm Street comic book. It was Marvel Epic, and then for some reason they just gave up the rights, or maybe the right. But I don't know how the comic rights worked for Nightmare on Elm Street, because it went from Marvel to Innovation to
Yeah.
who was it in the 2000s? It was Boundless or Avatar.
I think it's when did Avatar?
Probably I think yeah, Avatar. Yeah.
Because
Okay.
Avatar had all those crazy titles at the time. Like I think they did
They had Friday the 13th.
Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, they had Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Friday 13th. It was like they did versus Jason X.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, like like what?
And then for some weird reason, I guess it's because of Warner Brothers, then DC got the rights for Jason back. And they done that crazy story with Jason Aaron about the lake. You remember that?
I don't remember that. It was yeah. So Brian Pulido was the one who wrote the Devil's Due story for Chucky. Yeah, it's weird it's funny looking back at some of these publishers and then seeing what they put out now. It's like Devil's Due, like they put out like political satire books, but like 10 years ago they were putting out Chucky and like Hack Slash.
Devil's Due, is this still even happening?
Yeah, they did a.
I don't know. I haven't read a Devil's Due book in a while.
Yeah, mostly what they do. Well, for a while they were combined with First Comics. Like for about 3 or 4 years, they combined. But basically, Devil's Due is mostly now Mercy Sparks, Josh Blaylock's Mercy Sparks.
Oh.
And then whatever else they've been doing, like with AOC and some of their political stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they're still around. It's just not, the market's all different now. You know, all these publishers, all these small publishers are trying to find, you know, ways to get their comics in comic shops. But this is, the market's changing, you know, and you've got to adjust what you're doing, and you've got to adjust where you're doing it, and so on and so on and so on. So, you know, that just is what it is. But I mean, I think there's definitely a huge market for something like, if somebody were to go and find rights for like Silent Night, Deadly Night, The Mutilator, like things like that are just really weird, rotting
movies that haven't been touched.
Since they're just rotting IP. There's just nothing there. I'm sure that some of these ownerships would be like, I mean, what the fuck do we care? I mean, we're not doing anything with it anyway.
Maybe there's a certain guy that owns a comic company that would want to do a side company and see about all these.
I mean, here's the thing: when you're talking about IP, right?
Yeah.
If you take legitimate IP that you have a license for, and you take that to somewhere like Kickstarter, you've opened the doors, you've opened the floodgates. And if you were to go to these guys and say, like, look, we're gonna take it to Kickstarter, we're gonna fund it through Kickstarter with the secondary goal to take it to regular market as well, but we're gonna start at Kickstarter. We need to make as much money as we can to fund the book. Anything that's left over basically becomes yours, and we'll take some percentage of it for doing it. And then of course the next step is to take it to Diamond and put it out in comic stores and so on. Why the fuck not? I mean, it's just, there's no reason not to do it. There's no reason not to do it.
Another cool thing about doing that too is, like, you could be like, I'm going to make, let's say like the Prowler. Like, I'm going to make the Prowler comic, right? And then you go to like these other like art, like David, we go to you, or we go to like all these other artists who are like, yeah, man, I remember the Prowler's badass movie. And they're like, hell yeah, I'll do a cover. Like, you might get cover artists that like, cover artists who may do like just like strictly like retailer exclusive covers, and then they're like, wait a minute, I want to get in on this. Like, when are the chances of like a certain horror movie ever being made into a comic for like, you know, like a book like that would be like, no way, man. Like, what are the chances of that happening again? Whoever thought that would be a comic book?
I mean, damn, think of like a Dolls comic.
Oh yeah,
Probably have a continuation of that.
I mean, anything that's just kind of sitting around, kind of, you know, B level, even in some cases C level movies.
They got the cult following.
Nothing is happening with these things. So, but at the same time, you're watching places like Scream Factory and whatever putting out all these movies. Like, hey, here's a movie you haven't seen in 20 years. We're going to put it on Blu-ray, and people lose their minds. Now, granted, these are still limited releases overall, but because it's limited releases, the price points go up, and it changes everything. So, anything is doable.
Shopping
mall, yeah.
Shopping mall would be. Oh my God, I can like just see the variants now. Like, would make you think like, oh wow, they're doing a shopping mall comic where it's actually about a guy who's slashing up people in the mall. It's like, nope, still robots.
Nope, still robots.
Like I would go to the whole degree of like the covers like have like a dude on it, and you know they're getting slashed or whatever, and then like you read the comic and you're like, wait a minute, it's just robots again. I've been tricked again. Like you got tricked when you went to see the movie, and you got tricked when you bought the comic and read the comic. Shopping mall would be pretty good. Oh, the slumber party
massacre. The chains, the guitar saw, guitar drill.
Yeah. Oh my God, that movie was so good. It got a sequel. And then,
you want me to blow your mind right now? A Trick or Treat comic based on the one from the 80s. Oh, come on. What's his name? Yeah, the one Gene Simmons and Ozzy Osbourne was in. Oh, Jim, do not do this to me.
Oh, no, wait, hold on. I might be fucking with you. I'm pretty sure I've seen this movie. Yes, I have seen this movie. Okay.
Woo.
I thought it was called something else.
So Chopping Mall is owned by Lionsgate.
Oh, damn.
Lionsgate. So, wait. So it's a possibility?
Oh, no, wait, hold on. I'm sorry. Films July. November 2011, Dry County Entertainment acquired the film rights and is planning a remake with a supernatural twist. Nothing has happened. So Lionsgate actually just released the film. Dry County Entertainment owns Chopping Mall. So you go find Dry County Entertainment and say, what the fuck are you doing? And that's how you get Chopping Mall comics.
They got the rights a decade ago.
Yes.
Oh, shit.
Damn.
You think they're still around? What happens if they go out of business? Who gets the rights then?
Yeah.
The rights would be sold to somebody. So this is just saying as of 2011, that's what they know. It could be different now, but that's where you start. That's your starting point is Dry County Entertainment, and then you go from there.
Their company picture is a mason jar that's half open. So I might be in luck.
That means a Dry County.
There you go.
I get it. I get it
now. I get it.
They're in Illinois. Interesting, huh?
They're in Illinois, dude. That's like I'm right around the corner from Illinois. I could just go into the office.
So we could like.
So what you should do is you should be like, oh, you want to turn Chopping Mall into a comic book? What other comic books that are like that are like horror based that you've done? And you'd be like, well, it's funny that you mentioned that. I'm actually in the progress of putting out a Killer Toaster book. And then like, say no more. Here you go.
Oh, take my script. Take my contract.
Hell, they like. I don't even know what the hell Dry Company Entertainment does.
No. Does it say?
I don't know what there's a Facebook page. Let me see what the Facebook page. There's like
Facebook.
3 different Facebooks.
Adam.
So Slumber Party Massacre.
Oh no.
Oh
no.
I'm not finding who has it, but there was a documentary released in 2010 called Sleepless Nights Revisiting Slumber Party Massacre. If you find who made that documentary, they could probably direct you to who has the rights. And then, you go down the line there.
Joe? Done that last documentary?
Oh God, why can't I find it? Who owns the Sleepaway Camp movies?
That's a good question because Felicia still like heavily promotes that movie
Involved.
like hell. So if you never come out the comic,
Oh, here you go.
like,
Slumber Party Massacre, Santa Fe Productions.
Santa Fe. Santa Fe.
Yep.
Production.
Oh, hey, it's Santa Fe.
Santa Fe Productions. See? This isn't that hard.
Yeah.
You just see the interwebs.
So I was just looking up Sleepaway
Of course,
Camp.
we're giving all this information out for free on the internet.
Yeah,
now.
everybody's going like,
There's suddenly going to be like this mad rush. Like you're going to contact Dry County and they'll be like, you're like the 10th person that's called us today.
They'll be like, we just sold it to this guy. And then we go to that guy and they'll be like, pay me this amount of money. I'll be like, God. There's I didn't realize how many. There's 2 Sleepaway Camp movies I did not know about.
yeah,
It's a trilogy. Yeah.
No,
it's the 4th one.
There's 5.
It's 5.
Oh, is there 5 now?
There's Sleepaway Camp 3, Teenage Wasteland, and Return to Sleepaway Camp, which came out in 2008, and Sleepaway Camp 4, The Survivor. But that doesn't make sense. They did Return to Sleepaway Camp and then Sleepaway Camp 4.
4, so that'd be 5.
Right. But they called it 4.
You know who played in 2 and 3, right?
Huh?
Do you know who played in 2 and 3, right?
That
Sleepaway
hot
Camp 2 and
chick?
3?
What's her name?
It's actually Bruce Springsteen's sister.
You're right. Yeah. Yeah, she's pretty hot.
She's hot.
She's the hot, probably the hottest killer in all the movies that I've seen. A horror movie. Well, let's see. Ranking hotness.
Oh, here we go.
Horror killers.
Now
horror
you're
movies.
driving up my alley.
Who's the hottest killer in any horror movie that you've ever seen?
Does she have to be a killer?
Yes.
Can she be a survivor?
No. Because that could be like, that's like a million chicks.
Because I was going to say Danielle Harris is mine.
Oh, okay. Well, not as a kid, but as an adult.
No, not as a kid. No, God.
That's right. She's in those. She's in those movies. The Victor Crowley movie.
Hatchet, and she's been in the new Halloween movies, and
She was in. Hey, let's take this back to John Goodman. She was in Roseanne.
Yes, she was.
I hope she wasn't in John Goodman. He eats a lot, but.
So it has to be a killer. Go ahead, Jim and Tom. I'll think about it.
What was the question?
Hottest killer in a horror movie.
Hottest killer. I mean, the werewolf chick from The Howling was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh man, that's a hard question.
The girl from Return of the Living Dead 3 we talked about, Mindy Clark.
Oh yeah. Oh shit. You're right. You're right.
There's mine.
That's a good one. So yeah, it would have to be a tie from the chick who played the guy, girl in Sleepaway Camp 2 and 3. But also, yeah, the Return of the Living Dead chick. I mean, technically, Tim Curry played a woman in It as well when he goes, "Kiss me, boy." I mean,
fat boy.
Yeah. He impersonated himself, Beverly Marsh, and then John Ritter's making out with Tim Curry.
And the makeup screwed.
Oh man, Jennifer's Body. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, it's pretty hot.
Megan Fox. There you go, Tom.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sure. That's good. Well, I mean, anywhere we get, there's plenty of good vampire girl killers. There's plenty of those things around.
Oh yeah, like oh God, what's that movie? Who was? I don't even remember her name. She was the vampire in Lost Boys.
Cow chick from Twister.
Cow chick.
What was her name, Christy? Oh my, Christy, look it up.
Give me a second.
Shit.
Jamie Gertz.
Jamie Gertz, yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Tom's looking up rights for movies.
Yeah, I am.
Who are you looking up now?
I'm going deep.
He's going into the dark web to find
I'm looking up for the I'm looking up the mutilator.
Oh God, I would die.
No.
That's another one I saw at the drive-in when I was younger.
Oh my God. In November 2015, the company announced they had delayed the release, some kind of a release of, Arrow Video. They were going to put out an Arrow Video version. In 2015, they announced they had delayed the release after they found a fully uncut 35 millimeter print in the Library of Congress.
What? Is that the one they brought out?
Yes. And then it was released in 2016. Yeah.
Holy crap. I got to get the Arrow Video version.
So that's a fully uncut print. Yeah. Crazy.
Oh, did you hear that, Christy?
Can you imagine working at the Library of Congress and being in charge of like all that stuff that's in there? like, oh wow, here's a 35 millimeter of the mutilator. It was probably like just sitting in a stack of like like in boxes, and like it's like that scene in Indiana Jones where they're like top men, and then like they just take the Ark of the Covenant, literally could destroy the world, and they just shove it in a box in a warehouse full of other what the hell's in those other boxes? Like,
it amazes me because we can't have a Star Wars uncut version or the original version, like on the Laserdisc, like Tom was talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, you'll get that. Now that Disney has it, you'll get it. Lucas didn't want it, but Disney will do it. That's a moneymaker right there.
Come on, Disney.
No, stop. And here's why Disney won't do it. We're talking about the guys who literally FXX literally had The Simpsons. And not only did they have The Simpsons, they had the commentaries to all the seasons that had commentaries, all the DVD features on the FXX app. And it took them almost a fucking year to get the correct ratio for the early episodes of The Simpsons. And where's my goddamn commentary? At least on FXX, I can listen to the commentaries of all the Simpsons episodes. I can't do that on Disney. Are you fucking kidding me, Disney? God damn it. Like, now I have to keep the DVDs I have.
Tell us how you really feel.
Simpsons on DVD, so. But it was convenient that I don't have to get things to disc. I could just keep listening to Gene talk about, well, here's season 11 of The Simpsons, and well, we decided we needed more money, so.
Didn't also Disney Plus get rid of the Michael Jackson episode?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Thank God I have season 2 of The Simpsons on DVD because.
Well, this goes back to the whole, physical media thing. I mean, things are being edited. For being streamed now. Did you know that they edited The Office on Netflix?
Oh yeah,
they did.
Yeah, the scene with oh God. So Dwight has his Pennsylvania Dutch Christmas, and as they're talking about it and reading about it, like, oh yeah, this is a real thing. It's this guy, and then they talk about Svante Pete, who's this kid who's basically in blackface, and then Dwight is like, no, we don't do that anymore. And he turns around on his phone. He's texting, and then it goes outside and it shows the guy who's about to come in, fully dressed. And he turns around and goes back into the car. That's cut from Netflix. Now. It is gone.
Oh man.
Now he does appear later in the scene where his face is washed, but there's still a little bit down here on his neck. So he appears later so it makes no sense. Here's this guy who's what the hell's going on? But yeah, no, they're all this stuff is just becoming edited now. So, it's one thing to be let's put a disclaimer at the front and say, hey, look, this was a thing that we did. It was whenever, and it doesn't make sense anymore.
Yeah.
Here's what it was.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And they've done that stuff on old Disney things and so on. Well, and I get that. I have no problem with that whatsoever. Yeah. Same with the Warner Brothers, all the old Looney Tunes and stuff. There's really weird racial stuff happening in the old Looney Tunes stuff. But they just put a warning, said, look, this is 50 years old. This is what was happening back then, but we're not going to modify what it is, because it is what it is.
Pepe Le Pew pushing himself on that cat over, and how many times no means no, and Pepe Le Pew just and just every single skit that he was in.
Yeah, not to kind of change the subject a little bit, but I bet you I don't know if Jim remembers this or not, but I remember back in the day when Evil Dead first came out on VHS, and I bought it from Beggar's Video because they was going out of sale, and I bought it from them, and so we had it forever. And then finally the videotape messed up, so I went and bought a new one from Walmart. And they didn't. When I got the one from Walmart, there was no tree rape scene in it.
Really?
It was none. They took it out.
Wow.
And I was like, what the hell? And then kind of find out, I talked to my friends like a while, after that. And they said, yeah, for years and years, they cut that scene out, even like at video stores. So I was lucky enough to have a copy, and I've still got it, of the original Evil Dead that had that scene in it when it first came out. And they had that for years and years without that scene.
Huh. Yeah, I'd always seen it with the scene because I had it on DVD. And also it was I got it on PSP back when PSP would play movies.
Yeah.
I had Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2 on PSP. The chick from House of a Thousand Corpses. That's good. Yeah, that's a good point.
Sherry Zombie.
Scary Moon.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Well, guys, we've been doing this for 2.5 hours.
Yeah,
been fun.
And I feel like we've barely scratched the surface.
Exactly.
We have so much more to talk about.
We might.
But yeah, no, it's time to crap out and call it a day. But we can certainly revisit this one of these days and keep on trucking. So thanks for doing this, especially on just late notice here on Halloween. And thanks for everybody for joining us. We've had a great cast following us in the chat with some great questions and so on and so on. So we're all going to go try and make Mutilator comics now.
Yes.
And we'll let you know how that happens, how it works.
Remember, folks, in an hour and 45 minutes, it'll be 1 o'clock again.
That's right. You'll go through the time warp.
Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah, Rocky Horror Picture Show. And that's the jumping off point for next episode. Hey, yeah, when are we going to do this again, Tom?
I don't know. I don't know. I guess, it's a Halloween show, so next year, I don't know. I mean,
oh my God.
Once a year, man.
I'm going to have to go back and watch this episode just to remember what we talked about.
I know, right? It'll all be the same thing. So which is worse, Friday the 13th, 5 or 9?
Or 9. And by then I'll be going.
And then all of our decisions will be different. Oh yeah, 5 is much worse.
Oh yeah, then we'll have a whole new opinions, like hottest chick in a horror movie, and then it'll be like, well, I really thought that the female shark in Jaws too, or the shark in Jaws was a female, so technically the hot. Well, I guess the shark's not hot. Well, whatever. Well, the water's hot. I don't know. All right, yeah. So yeah,
she's sure shiny. She's sure shiny, boy.
Shiny boy.
Oh God. And on that note, we'll see you next
time. We could. This is definitely something. We're all comic and movie and whatever fans. So, this is definitely something that we could do at least semi-regularly and talk about just movies in general, whatever. If you guys
about movies, we did an episode like a week and a half ago.
Yeah. And it was a blast. We had a ball like this. This was a blast.
It's just trying to find the right time to do things.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Of course.
Well, yeah, and Saturdays is normally unscripted. So normally we would have just finished unscripted, half an hour ago.
We would actually be kicking into the 2 hours of the Jim and Tom.
The bonus time. It's the bonus time. Yeah. But we can definitely talk about doing this, making sort of a movie discussion thing. Put it on because this is just on Facebook. This is just chit chat here. But if we wanted to get serious about it, we all kind of know what the hell we're talking about for the most part. So if we wanted to kind of have some fun with it and turn it into kind of a thing, we could look at putting it on Twitch and YouTube and those kinds of things and just kind of making it real.
Yeah,
on Twitch.
We could do like watch alongs, like where we're watching a movie. It's like Mystery Theater 3000, but cooler.
Yeah. Oh my God. But cooler.
The cool version. Like, oh crap! Like, because people will watch and be like, I actually know these guys, and they're talking about a movie that I like, and it's like, hell yeah, and like yeah, and there's scene, and then the director said for this scene, and.
You would have to go to the owners of the movies and be like, so we want to do a thing.
Yeah.
Because
we just can't show it, right?
Technically, yes. If it's off screen, yes, because I actually know, and I only know, also extra caveat. I know that with Oz, for example, there's the International Wizard of Oz Club has a Facebook group, and every Thursday or every other Thursday, they do a watch along. Right. But the movies that they watch are all public domain on YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so they all kind of turn on their YouTube and watch it together. So if we were to come on and be like, well, we want to watch The Mutilator, we might not be able to do that.
I don't think the guys who made the Mutilator would be coming after us.
Probably not. I mean, we could. Worst comes to worst, they send us a cease and desist. We frame it. We say, "Hey, yeah, look
what we got."
But the reality though is that if there was a way to do it, and we had their okay, that makes it even cooler. You know what I mean? That makes it like, hey, we got approval to like do this thing, and here it is. So there's ways to elevate this stuff, but we don't even have a YouTube channel yet. So let's bring it down.
Breathe.
Bring it down. Take a breath. Let's talk about werewolves next time. And we'll see what happens.
Hot female werewolves.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Woo! That's right. So we'll talk about it. I mean, we talk all the time anyway. So we'll figure something out. We'll figure out how to do this again when we're going to do it. I know some folks that do podcasty things, and they do it relatively well. I mean, I'm not really concerned about becoming monetized, but I think it would just be kind of fun to do. So, I'll talk to them about, hey, how the fuck do we do this? And what's the realities of it? And we'll go from there. So, yeah.
Okay.
There you go, guys.
Sounds good.
Potential future nonsense for you.
All right. You guys have a holly jolly one. We'll see you at Christmas.
Yeah. We'll see you next year.
It's Christmas time now. Halloween's over. Break out the Christmas music.
We get to talk about Silent Night, Deadly Night.
That's right. Yeah, there you go. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out. This was cool. We'll let you know when, if, and how we're going to do something like this again. But we'll see you later. Thanks. Have a good time warp evening. And we'll see you all later.